Hey y'all, it's me again, Joey.
Well, ready to let them loose?
Yep, that's it. Let's see if they make us run.
Oh,
Probably so.
yeah, that one tried to get after him, but other than that, what can you expect? I mean, can you blame them? Oh yeah, they're getting after us now. Go, Joey, go!
Hey man!
They're mad, buddy. I'm gonna get in the truck. You gotta go back and get your camera.
But also, just get as many as you can off the one that the food gets out.
You gotta move forward.
Do that side again. Y'all ready? Let's get started. Well, hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Oh, hang on, I gotta mute this. Hope everybody's doing good over there in the chat. Hey, Mr. JW, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you very much.
Me too. I'm tired, but I'm doing good.
Yeah, whenever you get over that, you live long enough.
There he is. So,
Hey,
Boy, he's
Are
a
you-
little grubby looking.
are we live right now?
we are live.
Oh man, I'm late.
You missed it by like 2 minutes.
Oh, doggone it. Well, I just seen the alert pop up. I just seen the alert pop up on my phone, so that's why
Yeah.
I was trying to finish all these screen boards right here. Let's see. Oops.
He looks.
Working on your screen boards. Oh yeah.
I almost have. I just had the last one left here to do, and then I have to put the screen on them. I just did the last dozen of them right here that I got. I got some plywood from Matt today. He had some extra left over that he couldn't use himself, so I ran over there and snagged them, and went over to my father-in-law's house, and it was kind of raining still a little bit, so I drilled them and ripped them all down to the right size, and then I had some of this excess material left over, so went ahead this material here that I already ripped down. So the only thing I have to do is put some screen on them, which I think I have some left over somewhere. Oh, I think it's left over.
I never throw screen away. I got it if it's an inch long, I keep it because I might need it.
Say that again, Joey.
I said I never throw screen away, even if it's like an inch long, because I can always
yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, I have another roll up here. I mean, I'll probably have to utilize a little bit of it, but yeah. So I'm gonna mute myself here real quick, finish this up, and then go inside.
All right, we'll be here. It has been trying to rain here all day. I've been kind of racing it, thinking it was going to come, and it would sprinkle and then quit. It'd sprinkle and quit. Sun would come out, then it'd get cloudy. Wind would blow me and my camera over. I was just having a good time today.
Yeah. You know, we've had the same thing here, but it wasn't a sprinkling and
Yeah.
It'd pour for about an hour, and then it'd clear up for 30 minutes. And then it'd come a toad stringer for about another hour and a half, and all day yesterday. Rained all night last night, and it's rained pretty much all day today. It'd break off for 15, 20 minutes and come again.
Yeah. I see my light shining on my. There we go. That's better.
Yeah.
I need to put my table in the right place. Hey, we got a bunch of more people coming in. I'm just going to say hey to everybody all at one time. I can't keep up with y'all.
There's a bunch of them on here before I even
Philip's in the house.
turned it on. Yeah, he'll be putting on some kind of woodworking demonstration here pretty shortly. You can bet on it. Tim and Anna, how are you folks? It's warm in Texas. Is it warm in Texas?
Oh, it's warm in Texas, yeah.
Depends on where in Texas you are, probably.
Yeah.
All Texas is warm, I can tell you that, all the time. You get up in there around Amarillo and north up there, Panhandle way.
Yeah, I think they got all four conditions going on at the same time sometimes, you know.
Oh, Philip's at the farm. Okay, buddy. He's down there. He's down there playing with the horned toads, cultivating his weeds.
But I don't know how many on here watches my videos. Has been kind of keeping up. But at the prison yard, there's one colony that I've skipped every time I went out there. I'd peek in them. It was so weak, I didn't even bother splitting it. That's the one that was loaded up at the top. They had all the hive beetles pushed up. Oh, they were thick with hive beetles and not thick enough of bees to worry about splitting when I did splits in the yard. And the next day when I went to check for sales, I peeked in it last. I don't even think I did that on video. May have. I don't remember. But it still didn't look thick enough to. I didn't go deep in the box, but it just didn't look big enough to work then. So I said I would come back next week and check them out, which would have been last week. But anyway, I was out there checking for queens, mated queens in those nukes I pulled. And I was going to actually do it last. And when I was on the last of the rest of the boxes, that hive swarmed. I got a video of them swarming, coming out and hitting the tree. Figured out where they landed. There he is, right there.
Hello, hello.
So I have had one of my hives to swarm this year, and that was the weakest one. Look at here.
Oh, look at there.
What's up, Philip? What's up, Mr. Ed?
Hey, Joy Rouse. Jay Jumpy.
Hey, Mr. Ed.
Bill.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, guys.
Hey, y'all, it's Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed here.
Hey, there.
Yeah, that's right.
I won't ever forget.
It's not Mr. Eddie. It's hello, Mr. Eddie.
Yeah. I won't ever forget when we was at one of the Louisiana conventions, and Jeff was getting everybody he could to say, hello, Mr. Ed here.
I got that on so many videos.
And when he turned to me and told me to do it, I said, welcome back to the 628 Dirt Rooster Channel. He wanted to holler, no.
I think your old buddy Randy over has been beating on Miss Elizabeth over there. Looks at her on the YouTube. Do you see her? Do you see her post?
I had this just in case. I had this. She qualifies for one of these now.
Yeah. Okay. She looked like Randy'd been beating on her. So, hey, that's what I'm telling people up here.
Yeah.
So look,
what are you doing, Philip?
Look at this. This is my driveway. How you like this? It's a river. Can you see
That
it?
ain't the river.
That's my driveway. I had to park outside the gate today.
That's a drop compared to what we got. We got them running down the main roads, 10 inches deep.
See, I had to park outside the gate.
Yeah.
You wearing your Crocs or your rubber boots?
I'm just wearing my work boot, my leather work boot.
gonna have wet feet.
Yeah, it's already soaked through.
Yeah.
But the grass is knee deep out here. My neighbor needs to put his cows over here.
Yep. Get you some goats. They clean
Oh
that
man,
up.
you can't keep goats fenced in.
Yes, you can.
No, they say if it'll hold water, it might hold goats.
Yeah.
There's my car. This was probably going over the road at some point this morning, but it's still running. It's usually dry.
Yeah, we got the same thing here. We've had over 7 inches in the last 48 hours right here at my place.
I forgot to put my sulfur on. I'm probably gonna have red bugs walking through all this grass.
Yeah.
Or ticks.
Yeah,
Or
that's
both.
it.
We call them chiggers, not them red bugs. That's
I'd rather have ticks than chiggers. At least I can see them before they. Once you get them chiggers, it's too late.
yeah, you're lucky like me. I never had a chigger in my life, believe it or not.
Really,
Yep, they just don't never get on me.
you just taste too sour.
I guess. Ticks like me. I quit mushroom hunting up here on account of the deer ticks and the little seed ticks. They just last time I went, I come in. If I recall, I think I picked 47 off of them, and I said, "That's it.
Yeah,
I'll get mine at Walmart. Get mine at Walmart."
I was at a Boy Scout camp in oh gosh, what's that town that's near? I forget. It's up there in Missouri. It's in the St. Louis Council area. And I went hiking. Did like a 19-mile hike or something. It was long, or 13 or something. But man, I never picked so many ticks off of me in my life.
Yeah, they're thick up in here with us. That's it. We got
Like my peach tree's blooming a little bit.
Yeah, we got full of our apples. My peaches aren't blooming yet, but apples, cherries, everything is in bloom up here now.
I planted apple trees in my bee yard, and only one of them died, so I only got one, so it's not going to pollinate.
Well,
I think Jeff's like to chase and hunt them mushrooms too, don't you, Jeff?
So,
Oh, you don't? I thought you cooked them.
oh yeah, but those are no. Oh yeah, I've cooked.
Those are the tame ones.
Somebody needs to come weed eat my bee yard. I don't know if there are any bees in here or not. There's a few in there.
you'd thought if they'd blow down there and
Yeah.
you'd look like Miss Elizabeth.
I hadn't looked in any of these yet, so I think these are going to be good and strongest. I put this double deep on there 2 or 3 weeks ago. Or double, that second deep.
Now enlighten me again, my forgetfulness. Where you got them lines down the middle of the front of them for?
That's so I know that I can divide them in half.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can put a here. Let me see if it.
When you got a divider shim in, okay, got you.
Yeah, it just means I can.
Yeah.
It's like this is just a spare out here. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, I'll see what you've done.
Yeah, you see that little groove in there?
Groove in it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason it's there.
Okay. That makes
Just
sense.
so if I need to divide one, I can just look and see which one it is and grab it.
Yep. Well, come on out here, Clay, and I'll take you to the mushroom patches and turn you loose. And you could bring them to me, but don't bring the ticks. Leave the ticks out there.
I can't. Is Tom still there? Tom, you still there?
He's muted right now. He's working on some of his divider boards.
He was talking about making his divider boards, or he made some of them out of interior plywood, and I was just going to show him what happened when I used interior plywood.
Oh yeah.
That's what happened to mine.
Even fairly good plywood won't hold up good on them things. You have to leave them out very long.
Yeah, that's just,
I
I got to replace all of them that I did. It was all free, but still, it has lasted about 2 or 3 years, but it's still terrible to watch it fall apart like that.
If you wax dip it, I don't think it will. Well,
Yeah, you're right. It may not. I didn't. That's not wax dip.
yeah.
But we're going to go. We just got out here this afternoon. We're going. I don't know. It's only going to get to be 51 tomorrow. I don't know if I should pull brood out of these things or not.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Take it back to up north?
Yeah, I was going to harvest about 4 boxes of brood and food and go up and make my queen mating box splits out of it. It's like
You're worried about it at 51? I don't think that'd be a problem. If it's 31, like it'll be up here, that might be a problem.
Look like the dewberries already bloomed and they're starting to put on berries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's happened in the last couple of weeks. Oh, this is the pond. It's overflowing.
Is that where that Loch Ness monster, Texas monster lives? Huh? You got any of them swamp things around that thing where you have to?
There's a couple of 2-pound bass in there, maybe.
Okay.
You need to come down here. You need to come down here and help me catch a few, JD. I need to stock the freezer.
I've got some pictures of them Sasquatches up here. You got any of them?
I've had my cousin came out here from Louisiana and tried to call one, but I don't think he'd ever. Yeah, he got out there and hooped and hollered.
I have a lot of fun about the Sasquatches. I let all the people, folks up here, like I believe in them. They think I'm crazy, which they know. You guys know I am, so it don't make any difference.
Mr. Ed got disconnected. Maybe he can get back on.
The mesquite trees are starting to leaf out, so hopefully in a month or so they'll be blooming. I don't know if they have buds on them this early or not.
Yeah.
Just looks like it's just regular old leaf to me. I hope they bloom as good as they did last year. But they won't bloom until about June 1st. So you don't think it'll be a problem if I pull that brood? What I was going to do is I was going to pull it up tomorrow above a screen board and then come back on Monday and just box it all up and take it home. I was going to leave it, overnight so the bees could keep it warm above a queen excluder, not a screen board.
Yeah, what's your nighttime temperatures?
It's going to get down to 38 tonight, I think, and like 43 the next night, I think.
Yeah.
That's what they said. So, but it won't be out of the hive. I'm just saying, I'm just open it up and looking at it and moving it where I want it. And if we find the queen, I'm gonna put her in a nuke and put her off to the side because that's what I want to do is move all my queens and get new queens. But we're not gonna have time to go through every hive and shake them down and all that. Mm-hmm. Plus, that to me would be the worst thing if you shake them all down.
Yeah.
If you shake them all down but we're going to do some of that because we're going to have to get some of the brood. But I want to get cap brood. I don't want to get open brood. I want to get something that'll emerge.
Are you 3 hours from home?
No, about 1.5 to 2, depending on traffic.
Are you going to be shaking nurse bees on it, or are you going to let them come to it?
I was going to let them come to it.
You're going to need some of them open brood. That'll help draw them better.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I was planning on doing was, is open it up, look through real quick for the queen. If I got her, then I'm going to move her into a nuke, and then I'm not going to take as much from them because I want them to stay strong because I still want them to make honey. I was going to move her into a nuke and then take maybe 1 frame of food and 1 frame of brood, not knock them back as much. if I didn't find the queen, I was going to shake them. I was going to shake 2 frames of brood and 2 frames of food and put it above a queen excluder and let the other ones, let them move up to it to protect it, and then come back the next day and pull it off and take it home with me. That was my plan. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's what it.
Yeah.
Jeff hadn't got logged back on yet for some reason.
Probably made him mad.
It's probably past his bedtime.
He might have had to reboot. I don't know if he's getting any weather down there or not.
I thought we had it all up here. I didn't know. Seemed like we've had more than our share this last couple of weeks, I can tell you. It is really wet here. I mean, soft wet.
It's crazy here. It is crazy wet here too. It gets like this just about every year at some point.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's January when it's like this. But I'll tell you what, we saw a lot of blue bonnets on the way in. So hopefully their bees are finding it.
Well,
DC says it's so green.
It is. It gets like this time of year. It's nice now. It's not over in August. It'll be all brown.
There he is. He came back.
Hey,
where you been, Jeff?
I don't know. I'm having technical troubles.
Yeah, you need to.
flip this camera.
There's Lee. Hey, Lee.
Oh, before I turn the camera, let me show you what I got going on out here.
Hang on.
Look at there. Look at this. Oh, he's taking a break.
Uh-huh.
Look, well, you got the Taliban's taking over that place. I can tell you what.
What are you talking about? That's Jesus Christ, I think. JW.
That's the Taliban guys. It's one of them aliens that moved in.
Yeah.
Southern aliens.
He's been folding up my Jester nuke boxes.
Yeah, I got you.
So, but you see what he did when I turned my back. He sat down.
Hey, Philip, look at Clay's comment here. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
Is Tom trying to copy Philip?
He is.
Oh, is he working in the background back there?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I got a.
Did Jeff leave again?
I think he's having technical issues, I bet.
Poor old feller.
I got something to put on here that I got in the mail today. I got 2 things. Well, I didn't get them both today. I got 2 things I want to put up here. See that?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, yeah, that's nice.
You boys haven't got anything on the old man now. And look here what I got. It'll show up. Look at that.
Yeah, I got one too. It's still sitting on the dining room table. Hang on, let me.
Oh, that's Kodiak's farm.
Let's see it.
This is
Kodiak's farm.
Uh-oh, now it's not going to show up.
That's one of those.
Pull it down a little bit.
I don't know what's going on.
I want one of them. That's like that coat that Harry Potter uses to hide.
It comes factory direct. See, it's 2025 model. I bet you don't have one of those. Well, thank you, Lee, very much.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Lee. I got one too, and I left it sitting on the table earlier today.
Yeah, that's
mine showed up today, and I'm drinking coffee out of it as we speak.
Yeah, who is that back there with Tom?
That's one of his yard apes.
All that child labor going?
Yeah, he's one of his. He's
got plenty of room.
One of his curtain.
I'm kind of jealous with that much room to work.
I was gonna say, I can't walk all the way around my table ever. I always got something going on one side or the other that I can't get to. Today because of the rain, I've been building stuff and just stacking it up and having to move it.
I'm going to put out the word on him. That makes it look bigger than what it is. I think that's just the.
Get the wide angle.
Yeah, honestly, I'll bet it at that. I mean, it's a full. It's just a single garage. I mean, you might be able to squeeze 2 in it, but he's got about half of it full of motorcycles and bee stuff. So it looks bigger there than what it actually is. So
I'm building swarm traps. What mine's full of. So
well, I'm too lazy to even break mine out. I'm not even going to hang you this year, I don't think, unless I change my mind.
I'll hang 3 more tomorrow and check on the ones we hung a couple weeks ago.
I've got scout bees watching 3 of mine real hard. It won't hurt my feelings if they go away.
Next week or the week after is historically the big, or at least that's when I find them. That it may be this week that they want someone. We go into them tomorrow. I'll probably find out pretty fast.
You didn't, Jeff. You didn't do like them boys out there in Missouri did you? You boys didn't dare work bees on April Fool's Day, did you? April 1st. That's the reason you're having trouble. You upset the bee gods when you do work bees on April Fool's Day. I can tell you that. And they don't believe me. That's old school stuff.
Is it? I never heard it. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah. You never work bees on April Fool's Day because then they'll come back to haunt you.
I'll look at the chat and see what those knuckleheads are saying over there. Paramore said he got 3 swarms.
He's back up in that Taylor yard, but I got interrupted and I started watching you, Joey. And I got interrupted, so I don't know what happened. Did you get good results or bad results up there?
I got sales in that one. I'm just got to go back and check it in a few days and see if I got queens walking around in there.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Go ahead, JW.
I'm just going to ask him how many cells you left in there, or you had or left.
I'd have to go back and look now. I think I had at least 1 or 2 frames with a couple on each.
Yeah.
On most of them.
Do you leave them all? You guys down there, I think most of you guys leave them all, don't you?
I leave them unless I need a frame somewhere else.
Yeah.
I got multiple frames with multiple cells.
Mm-hmm.
I leave them unless I need it in another box in that yard.
Let them fight it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I start feeling greedy and pull a little small split off to the side.
Well, I done that in that yard. I think it was that yard, and brought it home. And I thought I had enough nurse bees to take care of it, but when it got cold, it chilled. So they left well.
Or talk about you, Del Philip, with that you know what the Pennsylvania Dutch, that's what these Amish and Mennonite people wear in the winter time. I call them simple cops. Simple cops.
Uh-huh. What's that?
That's them derbies like you got on your head. Sock caps. I call them sock caps, but
that's a toque. That's what they call it in Canada, the toque, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, beanie's what we call it.
Yeah.
But so when we were doing our splits and moving our queens last week, we ran into one of them that was full of queen cells, and I got to looking at the age of the brood and we thought it was swarm cells at first, but then I looked at it a little closer and I said, you know what, with the age of this brood, we accidentally killed that queen when we were in it last week.
Yeah.
So, or lost her, or shook her outside the box or something. But So we split them into 5 little splits, and they were real thin. But I just, took every frame that had cells on it. The one that had 4 on it, I cut one of them off and gave it to another one. But we got 5 potentials. I think one of them's going to be too weak. I think this little bit of, if it gets down in the 30s, that might be it for them. Who knows? We'll see.
Hope Sadler sent me a video. I'm going to try to get it downloaded to my computer and play it.
Yes, I see her post there. You message
So,
swarm
That's a
cake.
he. That's a he. Trying to figure out how to download it.
Oh, it's 82 here.
See, that's what I can't understand is how I see videos of like Keith Spillman, and then I'm hearing what Larimore happening with him, and then like Cayman is talking about putting on supers. I'm thinking, how can those folks be ahead of us? I just don't understand that.
You know what? There's a lot of people north of me ahead of me.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of that little freeze we had in early March, I think it was, or late February. But it's put everything behind.
No,
Hey, Russell Koopman, I'm thinking about making a fire in the wood stove tonight. What are you talking about?
They're just trying to rub it in up there, Russell. Don't take him too serious. You know how them Johnny Reb boys be down there. They get to telling big tales and lying some.
So when does your privet bloom, Joey? Because the privet around here it's just greening up. It's not even. It's starting to get some buds on it.
My privet is usually already blooming by now, and it's not. I've got some of that what they call it, that other hedge bush. Oh,
You talking about that ligustrum, that what I call waxleaf ligustrum? That's called Japanese privet, I think.
no, it's not a privet. I'll think of it in a minute. But it's blooming, but I don't know if it makes nectar or not. It's like an old hedge bush. It looks a lot like privet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what I have. But I mean, we have that. That some of it's real green and waxy, and some of it is like purple. Some of it's purple and some of it's pure green, but it's all over the place. But I call it waxleaf ligustrum, but some people call it Japanese privet. And I looked it up, and both of those names it's referred to as, but that stuff's everywhere around Capel. And my bees are bringing in something that's perfectly clear. I'm thinking that's what it is. I don't know.
Sugar water. Maybe they're
Well,
bringing sugar water out of that pond. You haven't spilled any sugar back there.
No, I didn't. I took all they weren't taking the sugar water in Capel, so I took it all off, and then we went up to this little town called Crossroads, which is only like 20 miles north. And I told Noah, he said, "You gonna bring some food?" I said, "No, they don't need any food. We're on a flow." Went up there, and I had some of them still had food, and I moved it around, and then a couple of them I just left there, and they might starve to death for all I know. They were super light. So that far away, it was totally different. So I brought sugar with me when I came here today because I wasn't going to take any chances. I went out there and hefted a few of those up, and the ones that I fed last time seemed like they could still use some food. They're still light, but there's some of them that got a good bit heavier.
All right. I'm
kind of. What are you doing?
So look like I'm busy. I kind of am.
So Larimore said he got 3 swarms. And was that swarms that his bees issued, or 3 that he caught already, or both?
All right, I think I got it here. Let's see.
Yeah, let me turn this off so I can see it.
You got it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
Looks to me like they're just moving in.
Yeah, he caught them
Yeah.
just in time, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I like to catch them like that, then I have no doubt.
I'd say there was just in the process of moving in.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been catching
that's
swarms for
a good
5
one.
years, and I still hadn't seen one move in yet.
Really?
Yeah, hadn't seen it. I've seen a lot of activity around the front of them.
I'm
You've never
laughing at Lee up there.
you've never been in a swarm in 5
Oh
years?
no, I've been in them. Yeah, absolutely. I've been in them. I've seen them coming out of my hives,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about seeing them go into one of my swarm boxes. I hadn't
Oh.
seen that yet. Now I did one time. I took a swarm trap down and went back out to hang another one, and a swarm was landing where the box left from. And it was, like I guess it'd been gone a week, and so I went and hung a swarm trap up there, and I think they moved into it, but then they moved out. They didn't appreciate my accommodation.
Hmm.
But they were one of those just the racks on the telephone pole, and they were hanging off the bottom of the rack, but no swarm sitting on top of it. No trap on it.
I've actually caught the queen going in one time,
Really?
and one of them I was watching. Got it on camera, but it's real blurry. But I got her. That was kind of fun too.
Wear blue.
Anybody else in that chat want to come in here now and talk with us? Come on in.
You got a question about your blue gloves, Joey?
My blue glove.
Armadillo Tex over there, 736. Which that's just almost just happened. He wants to know if you get stung through your blue gloves. I can assure you he does on occasion.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got those thin ones too. Those are like 5 mil.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know what they are. They work pretty good, but when I got that little loop around my thumb,
Oh yeah,
they
sting
get
that thing.
upset. They attack that thing, and I don't know why.
Yeah. I wear that thing on the inside of my glove. They
I cut them off, get them out of the way, but I don't wear gloves anyway. So
I don't mind wearing those blue ones, but those blue ones don't have much of a cuff on them. Your wrist a lot of times gets exposed.
I know. Then when I ordered them, they said they were extra long,
Oh, really?
but they're not. The ones I got wasn't anyway. But I like them. I like working barehanded, but I injured this thumb right here, a little tractor injury, and I don't know what it. Ever since then, that nail bed got messed up, and when I handle propolis a lot with it, that whole thumb gets all dried and cracked up. And that's why I wear the blue gloves. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't even wear them. I wear the blue gloves where I can handle my camera, turn it on and off,
Yeah.
or my phone.
I wear the black ones that are like 9 mil, but mainly because the cuff is long enough. The bees don't just they just don't want to sting those rubber gloves for some reason. They can if they really want to. They can.
They really don't mess with them that much. Usually, I tell you, most of the time, it's because of that sleeve on that jacket is longer than it needs to be. And it kind of gets them trapped in there. And I think that's what makes some of them sting right in there. gets them aggravated. But they normally don't try to sting those gloves too much. It's when they're trying to sting that loop.
Oh yeah, that loop will get you, guy. I put that loop on the inside. I learned that early on.
Now you get yours from Harbor Freight, don't you?
Yeah, that's where I get them, the black ones. I started out with the blue ones. It's just that the cuffs weren't long enough on them.
I was in Harbor Freight yesterday. I should have looked for some. I'll tell you what, they'll make your hands sweat, though, won't they?
Oh, door. Well, yeah. Yeah, they will.
I've worn gloves short periods of time for the last 27 years of my career, doing them shakedowns and everything. We put them gloves on.
Right.
But I've never had them on long enough to sweat.
I hate a glove of any kind, so I never wear them. So I just
Yep.
Well, I'd rather not, but when I'm really getting after it, I put them on. And I tend to put them on just as a matter of habit now, but I like to work without them sometimes if I'm just looking through stuff, I'm not shaking bees and going crazy with them.
Trying.
I don't like gloves either, but I just kind of deal with them sometimes.
Has anybody tried those tactical gloves that people are wearing?
Like ones like Mr. Ed uses.
Is he wearing those now?
Apis tactical.
Cayman's been
Cayman's been wearing them, and I've seen a few other people wearing them too.
with them on there. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that
I
stuff.
think I did see Mr. Ed wearing some the other day. I think that's right.
The Apis tactical gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple pair. I've only worn them a couple times though.
I was just wondering if you had good feel with them.
Yeah.
I used to try to carry, like when I'm messing with the camera or the phone, I used to try to carry one of those little, what you call them? Got the little racer on the pen where you can work the phone. I used to carry them, and I'd always lose them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I went to the rubber glove where I could still mess with them.
Yeah, you end up losing some dexterity,
Yeah.
with them. But I mean, they are a nice glove. The ones I have two different pair actually, and Melissa does too, I guess. When we were, I don't remember where we were at. He gave me a few pair and said try them out, and then he also ended up later on donating a bunch to the EMBA workshop.
Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, it was in Wisconsin. He's a really nice guy. He was actually working on bringing out a line of protective gear as far as I think jackets and maybe full suits. And if I'm not mistaken, either he's gotten there or he's really close. The gloves I have a black backer on them, and then the hand part is like a tan. And sometimes the bees don't like those, but it's hard for them to sting through them. I mean, they can, but it's hard for them. But I actually have better luck with Philip, like you were saying, the rubber gloves are just like a nitrile.
Mm-hmm.
We order in from Amazon a big pack of. They happen to be orange for what it's worth. An 8mm nitrile glove, and this kind of has little grippies on it, so they're not extremely thin where you put them on they rip in half. And honestly, I don't really have a problem with the bees trying to sting them. They'll try to sting in between my cuff and the glove, though. They'll try to hit that.
Yeah, they're trying to dig down in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're trying to burrow, they've had it with you.
Oh yeah.
But I used to wear just some rawhide gloves, and the bees hated them, but they couldn't sting through them.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized that even when I'd go into the gentle colonies with all that smell on my hands and all those stingers, it would set them off. So I quit wearing those.
Yeah, often I'm pretty happy just to wear the nitrile style gloves. But if you're doing a lot of like actual work where you're moving boxes and stuff, it is nice to have
Yeah, these are 5 mil. This is my wife's gloves. I bought medium and large when I ordered them.
Mm-hmm. We do the same, Joey. Melissa has mediums and I have the large size, and we keep a box of each in the truck and try to keep at least a box of each at the house when we get low.
I tell you, if one tears after I've done started, I can't put another pair on.
No,
I can't get another pair on.
These ones tearing.
Just won't.
The 8 mil might be a little bit better for being tear resistant, but occasionally you'll snag it on something and it'll tear.
Well, that's what was happening with me. 2 or 3 times I've had them rip right here.
Yeah.
And come to find out, it's hitting some of that number 8 wire, that screen.
Oh, I see.
Handling those screen boards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You still have some pretty good dexterity through the nitrile gloves, and it also keeps the propolis off your hands. My bees tend to build a lot of propolis, it seems like, and especially when it warms up a little bit, you'll travel that stuff from your hands to your steering wheel and everything else. So it's kind of nice to be able to rip those gloves off, throw them in the back of the truck, and then take off to the next bee yard and not have to worry about being as cleanly.
Yeah.
What's up, Matt?
Oh, not much. I was just waxing frames, and I was seeing Tom work so diligently in the garage. I had to keep working too. So
I had a goal to finish those screen boards as soon as I could, and I did. Yeah. I've got everything done. I mean, I can't wax dip them obviously because I'm not firing up a tank for that, but they'll just have to deal with that. But I got another dozen of them done.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks for the plywood, man.
Good use of time. Yeah, anytime. It was good chunks that needed to go to good homes. So,
well, I mean, they were perfect. Well, I mean, I had to rip them down both ways, just a little bit, and maybe an inch or so one direction, and about a quarter inch another way. Okay. And then, so I went over to my father-in-law's house since it was still kind of raining. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna rip all these down and drill the holes downstairs. So that's what I did. And then I brought them back to my house and set up just that little work table I have out there. And then me and Andrew started cutting the wire and finishing that up. And then I went ahead and glued everything on there and stapled it all down. So that was easy. I'm all set now. So let's see. I have 76. I have 78 double screen boards now, I guess.
Man. No. I'm trying to build 15, and I've only gotten half of them done.
Oh, we'll bring them over here. I'll help you.
Yeah, I think we have a little over 60 deployed in the yards right now. So we're using the heck out of them. They're just like Joey. They're a versatile tool, and a great thing to do this time of year, especially.
Oh, look closely at me, Flower Street. Ain't that pretty? Look closely.
Brian, don't say anything. If you give him one compliment, he's going to search for 2. Just let it go, okay, buddy?
Thank you very much, Mr. Zapata.
Yeah, I'll show off my double screen boards.
Yeah, I seen those the other night when you showed them. I like that. Would you bring me a couple this evening?
Sure.
Email them to him.
You just need a couple more. Go with your 70 something. It's got alternate holes here on the sides like that. I've added that this year. So hopefully I'll get put them to use. Also, I'm going to use. The reason I brought them this time is because I'm going to use these as my covers for my transport because I figure they'll be nice and ventilated.
Yeah, like a brood hauler, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
exactly.
I snagged a few boxes that Matt already had made up a brood hauler. So when I'm going over to JW's this next week, I'll have excess. So JW, just FYI, I'm not going to be bringing Pro Nukes over. I'm bringing the brood haulers, and I'll just stack them all in there.
So, I'm more comfortable with that. I mean, I think you'd be better off that way.
Yeah. Well, my only concern is I want to keep it ventilated. So what I might do is I might crack the lids with the popsicle stick on the top side there, Matt, with the migratory lids, and just to give them a little bit of ventilation on the top.
Sure.
And then I think I'm going to go ahead and get some of those screened inner covers, kind of like you had there, and screw to the bottom of a couple of my boxes too, so I have enough. And then I think I'm going to use those migratory covers and pop the cap out of this feeder hole out of it, and I'm going to put a piece of screen over it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that would work well.
Yeah. So this thing here is it's just a moving screen is what I call it. It's just a shim with a screen on it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
After I watched I forget Ashby. Ashby Farms, whatever that guy. What is his name? Anyway.
Ashby Miller.
Yeah. After I watched him and his buddy moving, I thought maybe I would put a little, like a 3/4 frame around here, around the here, and put another screen on it, and then drill me some holes for entrances. So now this thing could double as a moving screen and as a double screen board.
Oh yeah,
Might as well, huh?
sure. Might as well. Yeah, knock out two birds with one stone.
I got 5 of those. I built those just real quick because I had to move some bees last year when it was really hot. I wanted complete ventilation over the top of them. I already had screens on the bottom.
Yeah.
And it worked good too. Just, I went out there the night before and put these on and strapped them down. And then I came back the next day and just pulled the tops off of them and threw them in the back of the truck and took off.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I think like you said, Philip, I think you said the key there was when it's hot, you definitely want it well ventilated.
Yeah.
Hey, Philip, I didn't see you traveling around the yard or where you were going with, were you experiencing some heavy rain, flooding, and some other issues?
I don't know if you call it flooding, but it's been a lot of rain here. And it was running down the road there. Driveway or whatever you call it.
Well, we have some of the smaller rivers around us flooding, and I imagine JW has got some that are doing the same because he's got more rain than we've got here.
Well, it's running down the roads out here. I've got that blacktop road from the highway up to my place.
Yeah.
Got 6 inches of water running down it.
No kidding.
Yeah. We're pushing 8 inches and it's still raining.
Yeah, luckily we've kind of more or less kind of shut down. We got little spotty stuff, but nothing that isn't significant any longer.
Yeah, the ground moisture is definitely going to be there for the spring nectar if it can just stop raining for a while and the sunshine.
Ground moisture. I'd say that's an understatement here.
Ryan C said they got 6 inches there, and that's in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
I stepped in a mole run on a mole run, Matt, a while ago, about 2 hours ago, and went in and cleared my waist.
Wow.
Did the mole bite you, or was he already drowned?
He's probably trying to find his way out of that tunnel. It's probably flooded.
No kidding, right? He probably made his way into JW's truck and is hiding out in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like Monday and Tuesday the rain's going to be shining here, so upper 50s at least.
I'll take it.
Well, it's supposed to have ended here. It's going to be cold tomorrow, but no rain.
You know what they say after days and days and days of rain,
Yep. It's warm time. Yep.
See that guy over and see that Sandy guy over in Matt Valley? He's the one that caused all this mess with them honeybees there on April Fool's Day. He started it.
I sure did.
I'm telling you.
I sure did. Of all the splits I've made, I got paid back that day the most.
Hey, Jeremy, I actually have not seen any swarm cells yet.
I haven't either. I've seen cups, but nothing charged, no jelly or nothing in it.
Oh, we've seen that.
I was just telling him I thought I saw some, but it turns out I'd killed the queen. They were emergency cells.
Well, I've had some of you wasn't on here earlier when I told this. I'm gonna say this first. I've had one hive that was actually building swarm cells when I went in it. That's the one on my little porch here in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And I split it 3 ways and gave the main hive an extra deep. And I pulled the queen totally out. But the only other one, and I didn't see swarm cells, and I'm going to back up and tell y'all why. In the prison yard, that's where I work today, if anybody watches my videos, there's a hive there it was kind of weaker. It wasn't up with everybody else, so I didn't split it when I split everything else. And when I came back for checking cells, I skipped it. I figured it wasn't ready, and I peeked in it when I got through video and everything, and it still didn't look ready.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't deep dive in it, and then Philip, are you froze up? No, you moving now.
No, I think I'm
But
here.
anyway, I figured I'd come back the next week, which would have been last week, but I didn't. And then I was there today, and I figured when I got through observing queens, new mated queens and stuff, I'd get through with that. I'd go check it. But when I was on my last hive, that colony swarmed.
Wow.
I got them on video, the tail end of them coming out, and followed them over to a tree line and found them. I just waved by at them. I said I wasn't even gonna try to catch them. I didn't put I don't own her. If her and her crew, all they can do is push them up and not push them out with them hive beetles, they just gonna sit there and feed them. I don't want her anyway. So I say goodbye.
It seems like everyone that I say that, yeah, I got to requeen this one. I'll come back in the next time. And it'll be packed out with bees. It's like almost like they can hear you.
That happens sometimes, yeah. But I probably would have liked to just found her, pulled her out, and threw another queen in there.
Mm-hmm.
It'd been the best thing to do.
I don't know why out here today I've got 4 bars. I've never had that many, but my battery is struggling. I started, it was like 46%, and it's already down to 18%.
You got you're getting darker by the minute, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting darker. Sun's going down. When it gets down to about 15%, I'm gonna hang up and just go in there and put it on the charger and listen to you guys.
Got you.
Some reason it won't. Even if I get it on the charger when I'm on the chat, it won't keep up. It'll keep, it'll slow it down, but it'll keep falling. But if I'm listening, it'll usually keep up.
When you're out there in the country like that, I'm no expert on, but the so-called expert tell me you're on roam all the time. It takes a lot more battery than it would, when you're.
Yeah, I need to turn my Wi-Fi off because that's probably eating up some of it too. When I go to bed out here at night, if I don't have it plugged in, it'll be dead in the morning almost every time. And it's not like that at all at home.
It's on its constant service, they tell me.
You see what Jeremy says there? That shows you how far behind we are down here this year.
Yeah.
Usually I'm battling queen cells in my hives if I don't get started around March 1st. And I've had to wait and come back and do splits a week or so later because I didn't have enough bees or brood to split.
I find it interesting that Brian Zavad out there in Colorado had walking drones or drones noticeably in his colonies before we even saw them here. You'd figure that we would be a little ahead of him, but
I still haven't seen any at my place. I've got some purple eyes, but I don't have any walkers as of last, when I was in America 3 or 4 days ago. I only seen had one hive with 3 swarm cells in it, and they weren't charged, like you said. I mean, they were just cups. So I'm not there yet, but I may be shortly. Depends on this weather pops out like I said. It's going to be the end of next week, and being the 60s and 70s, all Hades will break loose around here, I imagine. So
Yep.
Just as a test, Joey, I'm gonna walk in the cabin since I got such good reception out here now and see if it'll stay. See if it breaks up.
It stayed when you walked in earlier, but it got real. Of course, we can't see you now anyway, but the video just got blurry when you walked in earlier.
Yeah, I only walked in the front door then, though.
Oh, it's right up. You're right there.
Yeah, the light's on in here.
Mm-hmm.
Say hi.
JW, Armadillo Tex has a question for you.
What is a walker drone? A walking drone. One moving around in the hive, Armadillo. That's what I meant to say. I just can't speak very good. I'm kind of tongue tied.
Yeah, it won't be long, JW. There's enough on our combs that it's, you have to do a double take looking for the queen. There's just that much drone that you have to, do a double take every now and then.
Do a triple take, I think. My wives are getting sorrier by the day.
And they're on the smaller side, but they're hatched and walking, so
Yeah.
it won't be long.
I may be overlooking some of them. I'm not saying I'm not, Matt, but I haven't seen any
Yeah.
that I was aware of.
Jeremy sent me this. I'm gonna show y'all this one.
Yeah.
So the queen is still in the hive. I think that's when he found the swarm cells in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame him. Mice got it up that much. I'd want the heck out of there too. Well, look at there. There's the woman beater. Poor woman.
Hey, Randy. I
Hey,
told him I was going to tell Elizabeth I know where she could get a good shirt at.
I did.
I know a guy that sells them.
Oh boy. Battle tested.
Beater like the Dickens did laugh at.
that's the one I'm wearing. That's the one I'm wearing right now. Hey, y'all should feel sorry for me, though. I tore my bicep on that.
Uh-oh.
I think you can handle yourself. Your wife looked, shoot, man, I immediately felt bad for her when I seen the picture. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I need one of those shirts, Randy. It looks like you could throw that under the bed and kill roaches.
You could. I take Pete on a job with me today because I didn't really need him, but it felt like I tore my bicep on her.
Oh boy. She's a tough gal, isn't she?
My audio is repeating back to me. Is there something I need to change in my settings?
You probably have the YouTube open. Is that right?
Yeah.
You just go to YouTube and mute it.
Close YouTube and leave StreamYard open.
There you go.
That'll remove your echo.
Thank you. That gets confusing when you're talking back to yourself 2 seconds later.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she her swelling, it maxed out pretty much last night. It might have been a little worse this morning, but she had taken something, but she wanted to go get a steroid shot today. So I took her to the doctor's office to get a steroid shot, and I was wearing one of the I was wearing one of those, and the lady at the come on in, baby.
Yeah. Elizabeth, get in here.
Lady at the doctor's office is, oh my gosh, that's great.
Well, you're almost cured already.
Yeah,
it's gone. As your pictures was.
It was
horrible.
Yeah, it looks a lot better.
Can they hear you?
No. Oh, they can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. It's looking like roadkill. Swole up for a week.
Yeah, she was looking pretty rough.
Hey, you can't say that, Randy.
I said, she met me at the truck last night. It was 11 o'clock when I got back from running a swarm out of somebody's soffit, and she met me at the truck, and I looked, and I was like, because she got tagged in the forehead right before I left. I was gone for about 2.5 hours, I guess. And she comes out to the truck, and she's not ever outside that late. She's always in bed. I was like, what is going on? So she meets me at the truck, and I looked at her face, and I went, and I said, take off your glasses. She took off her glasses, and I just lost it. I was like, man, you look like the little banjo boy on Deliverance.
You're lucky she's a kind and forgiving woman. Otherwise, it may not have ended well for you. You know that?
I know it.
You put that out there for the world to see, I guess, you know. We all seen you laughing at your poor bride. Bless her heart.
Yeah, she was saying something about
Lucky
laughing
me.
on Facebook, and I said, "That's not funny." Says the guy that's going out to the bee yard while it's raining.
Well, she had offered to help me before I left because I had a swarm in the vac. She says, "Is there anything I can do for you?" I said, "Yeah, you can stack a empty box on top of that bottom board and block the entrance. I got to dump these and set the box of frames on top of them." And I pull around there and she said, "There's bees in this box." And so I go look and there's like 150, 200 bees on a frame. So I was like, whatever. So I was in a hurry. I start jerking equipment around and she stepped back a little bit, but one of them comes straight out and just bang, nailed her in the forehead. And she goes, "Ah!" And I said, "What?" She said, "That one got me." And so I had to dig the stinger out and dump that box and take off. And so I stayed around long enough just to make sure she was going to be all right. But then I took off, and when I come back, I found a whole different person.
Found an ogre.
Swelled up and sassy.
Yeah.
Hey, Joey, I got it plugged into the wall, but it's still going down a little bit. I'm at 5%. I'm going to get off here and listen to you guys.
Do you have an iPhone?
No, it's Android.
Oh,
Well, that's the problem.
no, that's not the problem. Should be good to go. Should be
You
solid.
probably got several apps running in the background.
Something. I don't know what. I wouldn't know. That's all. But
Yeah,
I'm still going to listen and ask you guys.
You're locked up anyway. You might as well leave. You're locked
Hey,
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Yeah, he's locking up anyway. Weak charger. Yeah, maybe that's it.
he's probably using power off one of them windmills over there.
Hey, I've been aimed to ask you, Joey. I'm changing the subject 100% on your intro. The lady with you when you got stung on the forehead there on that swarm
Yep.
trap, that's your missus?
Yep, that's Lisa.
That's what I thought, but it never did come out. So I've been aimed to ask you for a month, and I keep forgetting to.
Yeah, it's her. She used to help me a little bit.
Before she got smart.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I've tried to get her to somebody fall out.
Philip.
Philip did.
Come on
Like
in
I say,
here,
I
Bill.
tried to get her to just do videoing for me, but she won't do it. What's up, Mark? I think he's froze up.
No, he didn't come on. He didn't. It quit loading.
Y'all getting any swarms up north yet?
Nothing yet, but I would imagine after all this rain ends that we're getting, because JW and I are getting inches of rain, him more so than I. And we've been on a 3-4 day rain event. And my guess is as soon as this ends, any swarm cells that are built, we'll start to see the first of our swarms next week. So I would imagine Facebook's going to light up around our area with, "Oh, hey, I found a swarm," you know?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you the first warm sunny day, I bet you'll see some pop.
Yeah.
Anybody want any port skins?
Yeah, can you email me a couple?
Yeah, because I'm gonna eat this whole jar if I don't
boy.
put them up somewhere.
What about the ones that are seasoned, Joey? Don't they have some that have like I don't want to say Cajun, but some kind of a barbecues type season on those?
They got some. I think the brand is Lee's. They're real good. I got them at a truck stop one time. That was some of the best. They was like smoked barbecue.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You've been down here. You know if they can flavor skin, it's got any kind of flavor you can get down here. Everything from ranch to Cajun to whatever.
How's your weather down south?
It's been stormy a little bit here lately.
Is it?
Yeah, me and Pete were up a ladder 20-something foot up a ladder trying to get done with a job today before it hit. But it just sprinkled, really. It was nasty looking. It just sprinkled.
Mm-hmm.
Probably enough to make the bees a little bit edgy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they don't like that pressure drop either right before or after,
Mhm.
whatever it
No.
is.
I had a group of homeschoolers show up the other night. Well, I mean, it was a dad and his boys who are homeschooled, but he had some other boys with him that are homeschooled, and to pick up some nukes. And they were a little testy, and it was right at sunset. So of course, they don't want to be fooled with, but just cracking lids to show him populations before he picked them up, because he was picking up a couple. And I just let him, pick. I'll let him go down the line and pick. If you want a heavy one, or if you want one that can spend some more time in a nuke box, whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the boys was like, "Do stings hurt very bad?" I said, "No, they don't hurt at all, man. Nothing." So about 2 seconds later, he gets popped in the ribs. Ah, it's the worst pain I've ever felt. You lied. You lied.
You tell him you didn't feel a thing?
Tell him it's all in his head, right?
Yes, that's how you homeschool, boy. We don't learn in books. We do it out here. We just Montessori style.
That's right.
Good way to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Joey, what's your swarm count?
Well, if you're counting coming or going.
Well, me and Mr. Ed can't count our own. That's our deal in the contest.
Yeah,
We can't.
I think I got a swarm in the box, but I'm still watching it right now.
Yeah.
And the ones me and you were talking the other day, about an hour later, they wasn't nothing around. I said, well, they found a home somewhere. And the next day they were right back like they were. So, but I think I do have one settled in at the church, behind the church building.
It's funny. We've done some fairly big cutouts this year, and none of those have swarmed up until the one we did 3 days ago. It was a pretty big one. It had swarmed already, but none of them even have had swarm cells in them. But the managed colonies are kicking off a little sooner. I've taken over Jennifer had surgery, so I've been managing her bees and stuff. And the ones that she had put, what's that fondant that comes in Hive Alive? She had put Hive Alive on 2 hives in late December, early January. Both of those made swarm cells way ahead of good drone production. And none of the rest of her yard had any kind of swarm cells in them.
Huh. I don't think she was talking about me, Russell, or DC. I think she's talking about Randolph over there.
I've usually caught several.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm really not wanting to catch a whole lot. I have to get rid of some if I do.
Are you thinking that both the all season is a little bit slower as well this year?
Seems to be.
Yeah. And guessing that almost appears to be a trend. And I'll say here in St. Louis, the last two years have been early. So this one seems to be a little bit normal. I mean, whatever that means,
Right.
So I don't want to say we're late, but we're late compared to the last 2 years. But I think we're kind of normal. So my only wish or hope is that if we stay on this track, if it's slow and steady, we're going to win the race. Only because I feel like every year we get that early warm up, something weird happens, and it always makes it causes problems. So I'd be content just to see somewhat of a normal year where we get plenty of rain to start, then it dries out a little bit and let some nectar flow and the blooms open up, and let those bees get some natural pollens and nectar to build up on a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
What was it last year, Joey, that we had that hard late freeze that killed all the popcorn trees? Or was it year before last?
Year before.
Year before last. We had a hard late freeze. It was a hard freeze, and it killed all the new growth on everything, even the water oaks and big trees, stuff like that. And I thought that was really going to set them back, but it just they seem to just come along strong anyway. But we hadn't had anything odd this year,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been a little slower this year than they were last year for me anyway.
Well, you all typically count on the tallow tree and the flow that it provides, but you all kind of missed out on that last year because of a late cold snap or something.
Year before last, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Last year it got me because of the rain we had here. It
Well,
washed
that's what
all
when I said popcorn tree, I was talking about the tallow because that's
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
yeah. Well, now down here everybody calls it the popcorn tree because when it the seed pods look like popcorn.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's a tree we don't have here in the Midwest. I don't think it comes this far north.
No, it doesn't.
I
But
actually
you
had
know,
Mr.
talking
Ed.
about the difference between this year and last year. Last year I was fighting swarms, or my bees trying to swarm from day one, March 1st or so, trying to get in there. I chased them all season till I got everything finally split. I will actually take this year, this slower startup like this. I'll take this every year if I can get it. I can keep up with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, slow and steady, right, Joey?
Yeah, because usually around March 1st here, it's almost like somebody popping a clutch. I mean, it just boom, it takes off and gone.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's pretty much after April 1st here, but we're around the St. Louis area. We're always due a cold week, first week of April. It could snow, get just below freezing for a day or two, but first week of April seems to be a cold snap, and then it's up from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's right where we're at. 30, I think 28 on Tuesday. Is that what it was, Tom?
Yeah, that's probably only a low for a couple hours in the early morning. But it'll bounce back very quickly.
Yeah. Enough to get them to pucker up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's funny how things change as you mature in beekeeping, because I can remember way back in the day, my date, and I don't know why I got it in my head. Somebody said something about Valentine's Day. So on Valentine's Day, I would go out and do splits, and we weren't even close to ready. I mean, it wasn't, there weren't any drones, or not a lot. And I don't know how I survived that, but it's a month later is when we're supposed to be doing splits, or 3 weeks later at least, before there's a good drone population.
I think I can hear that in the background.
I'd say that's about where we're at right into here right now. What you just said there, Randy. We're just on the verge.
Yeah.
I've got some purple eyes, but I don't see any walkers. We're supposed to warm up here at the end of the next week, and I'd say if we get 3 or 4 days in the 60s and 70s, things will break out like gangbusters.
Yeah, for sure.
They've been holding back this weather. They haven't been my bees hadn't been out of the hive here in 3 days now. They just solid rain pretty much.
I know about for 2 weeks solid prior to that, we had almost a solid red bud. I think we dare to say we had some nectar coming in from it. To be honest, I don't know if it was when all the henbit and dead nettle was blooming too, but this year's dandelion, I feel like has been pretty substantial. I don't know if there's any nectar per se in the supers from it, but just from what I'm noticing by driving in the valleys and along the side of the roads.
What's a purple eye? That's when you get stung right here. It'll get a little ring around it. Purple eye is a phase of pupa growth, or a pupa phase in drones when their eyes start turning purple.
Yep.
They're about ready to pop out the end of her when they get purple-eyed like that.
We were having a meeting the other night. I was at the Pine Belt meeting, and we always telling people, anybody that's doing the talking, we're always telling people we're watching for drones walking around, and the growth of drones and the drone cells and this and that. And that kind of gives us an indicator of when we can start doing our splits and grafting and all that kind of stuff. And I brought it to attention, and some of them had said they had never thought about that before. But if you don't feed in the spring, you can use that as an indicator of what's going on with drones out in the wild.
Mm.
But if you feed in the spring, you're going to advance your drone growth. So you can't use that as a clock. You have to kind of adjust that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why I said that. It just reminded me when we got
Well,
talking about
that goes along with what I saw in Jennifer's colony. She had 7 colonies in her backyard, and she only had added Hive Alive patties to 2 of them. And the 2 that she added patties, and the only reason I know it, she called me and said, I got a swarm in my tree. And I was like, that's kind of early. So I went over there and checked, and that those 2 hives that she had added fondant patties, which I didn't know she'd added fondant patties to. So I just started going through everything. I was like, man, this is weird because nothing else is producing swarm cells. No cutout hives, nothing. And I've already done, I'm at like 18 cutouts already this year. So I've seen a fair amount of bees and my managed colonies. And so going through those to have already produced enough, a bunch of queen cells, and nothing else is doing that. So yeah, that's feeding them early, kicked that off.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was something about this finding patties or if it was just the fact that they had additional something on them.
Yeah, it's interesting. When Tom came out earlier, I showed him I have an overwintered bee tree that just kind of strapped up to another cedar tree. It was a lumber company was going to cut it down, so they had to go. But I was telling Tom, they were in that cavity for another 2 weeks longer than any managed colonies were out meandering, flying, early spring, trying to get water, or late winter, I guess. And I almost wrote them off as they didn't make it. And then all of a sudden one day they just started orientating out front and they were just came alive. So at that point, it's almost like they knew either that next cold snap was coming, so they didn't even bother wasting the energy, or they had just better insulation or better stores. I'm not sure, but
I wonder if that colony is smaller as well. If you ever notice, the smaller colonies are not as eager to get out. They don't have as many foragers.
Yeah, that tree's probably 8 foot tall, but I can only imagine it might be 6-8 inches in the middle and the biggest. So, but I did notice that they stayed more dormant longer than the managed colonies by weeks. But yeah, it won't be too long. We'll be complaining about the heat, sweating.
Oh, I already am.
Yeah, I'm on my third shirt.
Those days are coming, for sure. Those cutouts get hot too, because you get put in situations where it's not about your comfort, and you're there to get a job done. That's sweat rolling down the eyes, can't move. You just take it.
Yeah.
Matt, that's why you bring a portable fan with you.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
Tom said he had a portable, Melissa.
What?
Tom said he had a portable fan.
Yeah, I had to get one because she was complaining about it.
I was hot. I wasn't going to be uncomfortable while I sat there and watch you work.
He told me it was you, and that's not true.
Oh, you're calling me the fan? JW? I'm going to bring my frying pan for you when we come out there.
Hey, not until after we finish our work. You're not. Hey,
don't use a good frying pan because you don't want to bend it.
Well, no, I took that as she was going to make us dinner after we were done. So that's what I thought she was trying to tell us there.
My name is Carolyn.
What do you want? What do you want her to cook us, JW? What are you in for?
We're going to go to one of these Rudy Snoot joints.
Heck, hey, count me in. Sign me up for that. Matt wants to come now too.
Yep. Sign
Come on
me
out,
up.
Matthew. If you're not got anything to do, jump in and tailgate them.
That's what I told him. I told him he could come out with us.
Yeah, we'll see. I know next week I got a fair amount of stuff to do. I don't know. It just depends on what day you guys are going out there, but we're starting another bathroom and tearing stuff up. So I'm
good for you.
cutting tubs in half and
Just make the guys do the work and tell Sandy you'll be back tomorrow.
yeah, there you go. That's the biggest thing. I got to get a permission slip from the boss and get in the hallway.
Tell her you're going over there to make money and she'll let you go.
Yeah, that's true.
I need to get you out here and figure out how I can put a like a 8x12 walk-in shower stall in a 4x4 square.
There you go.
Huh?
It all depends on how tall your ceiling is.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to stack it like nukes.
He's got to go vertical with it.
Hey, Miss Sandy, how are you?
Good time to check in. Oh man, hey, I think you said Beetlejuice 3 times, and here she is.
Those ears get burning, boy. I tell you.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Don't back down, Matt. Don't back down, buddy.
Stand firm. Wife shows me I got a backbone.
Anybody in here wear glasses when you're doing inspections?
I do.
Do you get stung in the forehead a lot?
Sunglasses.
Or are you suited up?
I usually got a veil on.
Oh, okay.
You know what I found out, Randy, on those glasses? I'll show
What's
you
that?
what I got if I can get them to come in.
Well, Elizabeth got tagged in the forehead, and Pete is constantly getting tagged in the forehead. To the point is that I make a joke out of it. And one of our new customers got stung in the forehead. He had glasses on as well, and I was like, I wonder if there's something to the glasses thing.
Could be.
I feel like if
Can
I
you
have
see
sunglasses
these?
on, I just look like a giant
Can you
drone.
see 'em?
Yeah.
They make a difference. They're just clear.
Yeah.
That's clear plastic.
Right.
I found it makes a difference for me. They don't bother them nearly as bad as they do the, like the darker rim ones and stuff like that.
Right. So you do notice a difference when you wear?
Oh yeah, I do. Okay. Wally World 550s. My daughter went to set the Wally World, but that's what I use.
Maybe there's something to that.
I wonder if the bees are smart enough to sting us, in our most vulnerable spot, basically our eyes, our nose, mouth, but basically just by evolution, they know how to tag us just right, or any mammal for that matter.
Dodd House says yes. Forehead or corner of the eye. Yeah, they get me in the nose. I took one in the edge of the nostril this morning.
I get tear to the eye.
Yeah. Give you the sniffles for a minute.
Yeah.
Must be talking about all the bees are dying out. I don't know.
What's that?
I don't know if that's a question or what. I hadn't heard anybody have a good explanation of what's going on with them.
We're not seeing that over here. We're not seeing that on our side of the country.
I've not noticed it or talked to the ones I talked to around here immediately close to me. And it doesn't come up either, Randy, so I don't know.
Even we have some guys that have brought bees back off of almonds over here, and they're not seeing it. So I don't know. Somebody said maybe it was foul up in their treatment methods, or something got contaminated in some feed supplement or something. I don't know. Everybody's speculating. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Jeremy Lindsay said no issues in East Tennessee. DC, no losses there.
So Darren hadn't took any losses like that. The big, out normal.
No, he had
I had
70% losses coming out of winter last year, and didn't take losses coming out of California. And then this year he had 35% losses coming out of winter. So he's done a whole lot better this year than last.
Yeah.
Who's the person who has those?
Let's see. It's not on Messenger. It's on Messenger. Yeah, right there. Yep.
35 or 40%. I think he said they lost 6,000 over winter this year. What would that be? 40%, 35%? He's a 20,000
like
colony. He's 20,000 operation.
Yeah, it'd be more than that.
I don't know what the prices of meat everywhere else is. Mine didn't change.
Same here.
Gunner lost a good bit. I don't forgot what his number was.
Dwight?
Yeah, Dwight. He took a pretty good loss this year. Or over winter.
Yeah. I hadn't talked to him this year.
Seemed like he said 50 or 60% loss.
So he's I think he runs about 8,000, right?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Wow.
He always makes it up quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the commercial operator that I was talking with out in, he's out in West Colorado. Brian and I met him last year, and he was a pretty honest and just a real open guy. And he had 4,000, and he's down to 1,600. He said the only difference that he had noticed that he had done differently was normally he breaks his colonies down pretty hard coming out of almonds, like only leaves 2 or 3 frames in there and just splits them down hard. And he said this last year, all he did was split them in half. And he said that's the only difference in his colonies as far as what he had done, as far as, treatment options. He said he kept hitting them with mite treatments religiously. He said trying to get them knocked down and keep them down. And I thought, if I remember correctly, he said he never got above, I want to say 3%, 2 or 3%. So nothing that was dramatic. And so, I mean, his loss was pretty heavy, going from 4,000 down to 1,600.
Yeah.
Over 60-something%.
Yeah.
So, but he said no big deal. He said he'll bounce back. So, that's the one thing I noticed about, and not everybody, and everybody, depending on probably how long you've been in the game and where you're at with it, but most beekeepers, by and large, seem to be pretty resilient people. Take a beating and get back up. So,
If you're running that many colonies, you're pretty tenacious.
Hey, you know what? I don't disagree with that. Beekeeping, I don't care if you're just doing it as a hobby level, you're doing it as a sideliner gig, you're doing it as a commercial operator. There is nothing easy about that. There are so many other areas that a person could go to make a lot more money for a fraction of the work. You know what I mean? So I think it takes a special person to deal with that.
I think I'd like to go in the landscape business. I don't think you have to do anything there. You can just travel the world and politic and do whatever you want to do.
That's funny because I was thinking about getting in the cattle business.
They both sound like work to me, and I don't want to be nowhere around it.
I'm sitting in a lawn chair in the middle of the field.
You quick serve that one right back over the net to you, GW.
He likes the pushback. He likes to give and take.
They always pick on the old man. He's old and weak. Everybody's always picking on me.
That keeps you young at heart and keeps you vibrant, keeps you witty.
Is that your actual yard behind you, or is that just a screen thing? JW.
You know, that's a green screen picture, but that's what it looks like in the spring with my. I got a little old just here, and I live in the edge of town.
Hmm.
And I put up a little old garden. That's from last spring.
Okay.
Everything is dead here. Well, actually, I've got a bunch of plants in the greenhouse. I've got some stuff I put into the ground, but the ground's so wet, it's like sticking them in a mud hole, you know. My greenhouse plants are going, if they don't dry up, going to get out of hand, going to get too big. I like to mess with it just a little, not anything serious. I just like.
You'll be sending us their information.
Yeah, hopefully it dries up just a little bit more. You can, when Tom comes out there, you can get a hoe in his hand, get him to plant.
Yeah, well, that ain't gonna happen. You know, Melissa, maybe.
Get him to St. Louis with a blister or two, will you?
You know, I've got some of the that'll fit them ram's bottom hands probably also. Some of them holes.
Got that right. I'll come and work there. You know I will.
So it's Matt's birthday, huh?
Yeah, actually tomorrow is. Yep.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. 47.
Shoot. Old
Dang.
guy, huh?
Yep.
I can't remember 47.
Old enough where I got to start doing subtraction, you know.
You can reverse those numbers and add that to get to me. I know that.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
And my granddaughter, she turned 18. I said, well, we're the same age. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, 1 8 and 8 1, we're the same age.
I feel like, Matt, you should come over to JW's place and we'll get his credit card and he'll take us out for dinner.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Tell you what, JW always sits me down and feeds me well anytime I'm out there. It's like going up and visiting my family in Iowa. You work hard and then you're going to eat hard. You work hard and you're going to eat. You know,
that's right.
You're not going to blow away.
At least you're spoiling the surprise.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That's news to me. He been telling you he's about 28, hasn't he, Alicia? Huh? Fish coming out.
Oh boy, cat's out of the bag now.
Hey, the gray hair should have been the first clue, right?
She knows better.
Hope's got a chest freezer that's 40.
Them guys, some of these guys have been around me. You know what my solid answer is to these people talking about being old, but I can't put it out on public television.
Mm-hmm.
Tom knows what it is, I think. That's what I tell him.
Yeah. I'm not saying.
No, we're not going there.
How are your horses settling in, JW, when they got back?
Yeah, they're donks wanting to ride in the doggone fartmobile all the time. Climb up in it. I'm glad to be back home, so to speak.
Did you just bring him back just to turn him out in some different fields?
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
They was getting out of pasture and stuff over with them kids, you know, that was using them, and they hadn't been using them. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if I had got them back permanently, +1.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Jeremy, I ain't got nothing coming up that I can think of. Mississippi State Conference is the only one I've got lined up for the rest of the year at the moment, and that's sometime in the fall. Oh, Matt can't read the small print.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've burned out myself in the beginning of the year. I think I've talked about a dozen times already, and don't have anything else scheduled until fall. Which
give
is
you a little
good.
time. Give you a little time to recharge the batteries.
Yeah, and it's good. I needed the practice. You know, I need to see what people like to hear and what stories I can deliver to what crowds, because some people think something's funny and other crowds think it's offensive.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah.
I think it'd almost be hard to know that audience before you got there and kind of people watch. But
yeah, it's funny because it was. I guess it was fall. Maybe when was the Ohio conference? I spoke at the Ohio conference recently. I guess it was in the fall, and some of the stories it would just in the South, people would just be falling out of their chairs, belly laughing. Up there, they're just like, huh? What?
Slow crowd, huh?
Well, it's just different,
Yeah.
different area, different lifestyle.
Yeah, them damn Yankees.
He said it. There it is.
Tommy's doing good, Russell. He's still raising nukes. I think he's got 150 of them in his yard right now.
There's Mike. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
Hold on. I think that's Travis, actually.
Is it Travis?
I think it's Travis.
There you go.
Hey,
Let's
Travis.
represent
Travis, that's you, right?
product.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
How's his buckets coming along?
Yep. Hey, Randy, we're still waiting for those buckets he's going to be putting out here before too long.
Some buckets of.
Oh, it's Travis.
Oxalate acid. He'll have 5-pound buckets before too long. Yeah, I thought that was Travis.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, they're working on it. They're working on getting some of that stuff taken care of. He's got a potential real nice bucket, sealing and locking bucket that will hold 5 pounds material in there. There's Mike. Mike just popped in down there.
I haven't seen him since Nobby when they hooked me up with some spicy honey.
Yeah.
Joey, did you get any of their spicy honey? Yeah, some little bears.
Yeah.
The little bears?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
They got.
I got some from what's his name? The one we tasted his honey, his hot honey. That
Luke.
Year before last.
Yeah, that was Luke.
He brought me some at the last expo. He got it hot. It don't take but a drop, but he got that one hot.
That was Luke Harvey.
Yeah.
He's out of Illinois, I think. Yeah, he about choked me to death.
It's amazing how long that lasts on your palate. You know, that kind of that heat. Man, it's a lingering deal.
Uh-huh. I've got all kind of hot honeys laying around here.
Nice.
On it. Is it focusing?
The Watsons?
Is it focusing?
Not really.
Yeah, about half.
Yeah.
You it says hot honey, but you can't read the particulars.
Said the Watsons. I'm below it.
It's Cedar Branch Hives. The Watson's honey, Marble Hill, Missouri.
Oh yeah, that's he's down south of me. He's a small commercial operator.
Okay.
Him and his wife do it. I forget his name now. He helped out Cayman actually with the conference. Him and his wife did.
Okay.
I'm trying to think where Marble Hill is. I've heard of it.
I think it's down toward. I think it's down toward the Boot Hill, down that direction.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty far south. I think it's down there near Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, his phone number on here. I'll give his phone number out if anybody wants to try it. 573-579-6466. Cedar Branch Hives, LLC.
John Snyder.
No, that's not it.
That's registered agent on file.
It's Wayne Watson.
John Snyder.
Wayne Watson, Cedar Branch Hives.
Wow.
They don't have a Facebook page, I don't think, if that's what you're looking
This
up.
isn't Facebook.
Oh.
This is like a business page.
Oh, well, it's Wayne Watson. I'm certain of that. We had a phone conversation. Yeah, that Wayne Watson guy did he give that to you, Randy?
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy. I didn't actually meet him at Nobby, but
Blackbeard Canning.
Yeah.
Mango Hot. Is that Luke's?
Yep.
that's a pretty cool label.
And it's hot.
That's one you want a jug of milk next to you when you try it.
It looks like a bottle.
I'm gonna try a little bit of it if I can get my spoon out. I needed a fork.
Is that the guy who bought the
That is hot honey right there. You can see the burn on it. It'll melt that
The
spoon.
spoon's melting. Joe's fixing to lose his voice.
That's
hot honey.
needs blending.
He's gonna start sounding like Bob Benny. That's some really hot honey, y'all.
It don't take much of that right there.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could call this guy's name off the top of my head, but there's a guy over in Alabama. I met him at the Alabama conference several years ago. I'll think of his name as soon as I get off of here, but he had some hot honey that he gave me. It was his first batch he had tried, and he grew the peppers himself, and it was some ghost peppers or something. He grew it in his garden, and he brought it inside and was chopping the peppers up, and it didn't smell hot to him. It just smelled like chopped up vegetables. So he had some gloves on or something. And he gets his wife in there. He says, "Smell this. Does this smell like spicy?" Before he added it into his honey. She said, "No, it just smells like chopped up vegetables." So he said he dipped his glove or his fingers in and touched his tongue, and he goes, "Holy!" and just started let a few words fly. She said, "Well, you idiot." He said he was looking for anything to cool that down.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon's tongue on the ground.
Good thing he didn't touch his eye, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, that's. I've done that.
That won't go away for a while.
Or, made that.
It is.
All he hears is you crunching in the background, and he was asking if that was Donk. I said, "No, it was you."
I couldn't even hear him.
They don't either. He's just trying to stir up crap.
I heard it. I can't unhear it.
I'm so used to hearing noises, I guess.
Don't chin on a carrot.
I started to wear my LSU shirt tonight. I got 2 grandyoungins that were accepted in the LSU. They went this week and got a lot of stuff set up.
That's cool. Congratulations, Joey. Was that your granddaughter and then her brother? Was it?
No, it's their first cousin, the 2 oldest grandkids.
Yeah, that was the 2 that you showed us in the picture the other night.
Yeah.
Remember, right? Yeah.
Both of them going into pre-med.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
That means they're going to be able to take care of you when you get old, Joey.
Yeah.
Well, time they get out, I may not be around.
Just in case, put a wish list together and send to them for all your equipment needs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking out of my Frederick Dunn cup tonight.
Right.
Hey, wait a minute. That's a cool looking mug, ain't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that fits
I've
your
been
soda.
drinking on my Lee Quimby special. I told you at the farm.
Zoom in on that one.
Hang on.
You can see it. That's his new one.
Yeah.
Oh,
2025 model.
showing
up backwards, I think, but that's.
I didn't even know he had one.
I just got that yesterday.
He got all his merch.
Sir?
I didn't even know he had that, and I'm a member on his channel.
Yeah, I got one yesterday too. I thought it was something my wife had ordered, and I handed it to her. She said, "What is that?" I said, "Well, I don't know. I didn't order nothing."
I hate to say this, boys, but I think you got to be kind of special, extra special to get one of those.
Yeah.
Just
Special is right. You got that. Hey, Randy, Jeremy's got a question in there for you.
How's the old man doing? He's still sucking wind. He's still living. He's of course wheelchair bound and still trying to tend bees. He can't do much anymore, so he still has hives. He's got probably a dozen hives at his house that he tends at, and then me and my brother have to go over there and help him with any lifting at all. He can't really pick up anything. So
how old is he, Randy?
He's only 77.
Yeah. No, that's a shame.
Just not in good
Good
shape.
Lord bless me. I've been lucky. I'm telling you, fellas. I go every day. I don't go quite as fast as I used to. It takes me 3 hours now to do something I used to do in 30 minutes, but that's okay.
Well, that's kind of how he is, but he's getting forgetful. He's getting to where he's asking questions like last year he started asking me how to split hives and things like that. So, but he gets himself in funny situations. So he had a guy come over with a skid steer and clear out a path over to his apiary and take out a fence line. Well, on the other side of that fence line is a place where he's been dumping compost and leaves for 10 years. So he couldn't get through there even if he wanted to. Well, of course, as soon as they get that cleared out, he drives this 400-pound electric wheelchair over there in the middle of it and gets stuck. Ain't nobody's around. I don't know how long he was sitting out there. My mom came out there and found him, and she had to hook a chain to her car and drag him out.
Oh boy!
Well, it's funny, but it's not funny because you just never know what the good Lord's got.
Well, it's kind of funny because he's still going. He's still trying. So he's got a big Skag commercial mower, big 60-inch mower, and I took him over to the trailer park and put him on that. He can't get on it himself, so I had to put him on it. And he said, "Just let me mow for about an hour." So I go. There's a 300-foot retaining wall that I built 15 years ago, and it's about a 5-foot drop to the water. And I was like, "If you run off of that, you're done. I can't help you." And so I left, and I came back, and I didn't see him no more. And I thought, man, if he ran off that wall and I had left him, I'm never gonna get over it. So I found him. He was in the back of the property. He'd run up on a big bush and killed the mower. Couldn't get it started, so I had to go take the truck back there, hook a chain, drag the mower off of it, get it going. He said, "Let me run for about another hour." I said, "All right." So I was like, "It's your mower. If you want to tear it up, go ahead. You need the bush. You need a bush hog back here."
Yep.
So he's still He's still trying. He's still going, but just physically, he's down.
I'm sure him being out there with the bees or out there in Mother Nature probably brings him a lot of joy, though.
Yeah, he loves it. And that's about the only thing he wants to talk about is bees.
Yeah.
Well, that's a sure sign of senility. I can tell you, I'm that way too. 100%. You're 100% senile when all you got to talk about is bees.
Uh-huh.
Bees and fishing.
No way.
That's it.
Oh, I'm already there.
It'd be like, we just invaded North Korea. I wonder if they got bees there.
Yeah. Wonder what the hell was.
Hey, JW, what did you say a minute ago?
I said, I thought you had to be special. Yours is left-handed though. Mine's right-handed.
Oh,
You got a left hand.
Four-wheel drive chair.
Melissa just went out and checked the mail, and this was in there.
Sometimes there's different kinds of specials, We'll discuss that after we go private.
That'll be a fun conversation.
I say what special means.
Randy probably recognize this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I gotta let my little dog out, fellas.
I've got a Louisiana State Beekeepers Association hat that I've had since 2017 or 18 when I spoke over there. I can't remember when it was, but it's about the size of a yarmulke. It don't fit me, but it's just hanging on the wall. Just a souvenir.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get rid of nothing.
You should hang it up in your studio back there somewhere with your collection of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he enjoys his mower. Somehow he got on it the other day and went just cutting down stuff. He cut down some of my mom's trees and stuff.
Intentionally?
I don't know. I don't even know how. Not intentionally. He just didn't know what he was. But I don't even know how he got on the thing.
5 foot mower. That's a pretty good size.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big one.
Years ago, I had an uncle that lived right behind my mom and dad. It was my dad's brother, and he'd got down with emphysema. He was a plumbing contractor, and when it hit him, he couldn't do anything. And they didn't have all these electric wheelchairs and all that back then.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the only way he could get around in the neighborhood was on his lawnmower. He could walk out there and get on that lawnmower, and he'd ride to Daddy's, and he'd ride that quarter mile down the road to our great uncle's house. That's how he got around.
Mike, I'm right at 18 cutouts for this season. I've got about 5 more lined up already.
Wow.
Got to make hay while the sun's shining.
Yeah.
Yep.
You did, what was that, the other day when you called? You did 2 that day, back to back?
Yeah. Knocking them out.
I don't know if I could handle doing 2 in a day.
That's how come I miss all these lives that y'all are on all the time. I'm usually still working whenever y'all are on live, and I'm listening. A lot of times I'm driving home from a cutout, and I might be on the road for an hour, so I'll just tune in and listen. But I'm in a pitch black driving, so I can't really, no sense in coming on. So, I spend a lot of time on the road. But I'm a night owl, so I don't get up until 8 o'clock in the morning, but I run till midnight.
That's one way to make sure you get all the bees.
Yeah.
They'll all be home except for a few that hang out.
Yeah.
Do you actually put most of those cutouts in your apiary, Randy?
It depends. I'm selective on which ones I like to keep, and then I've given away several this year. There's a local guy that's trying to populate a long Langstroth. I took some to him the other day, and I gave some to my parents' pastor. Want to get into beekeeping, so Tommy took a bucket of cutout bees over there to them, and I can't tend. I can either do cutouts or tend bees. I can't do both much. Sure. So if I get some like the ones I dumped last night when Elizabeth got stung, it was the hive next to them that stung her. It wasn't the ones I was dumping, but they were just as gentle, just little lambs. I'll run those and see how they turn out.
Sure.
And the more gentle, as long as they're good and productive, the more gentle, the better for my customers, because most of my new customers are new beekeepers or newer beekeepers, and the less hot, the better. And so we'll graft off of, or actually Darren, the guy we were just talking about earlier that runs 20,000 colonies. I can take him my queens and he'll graft off of them, and I just go pick up cells because I ain't got time for grafting, cell builders, all that kind of stuff. I just go run up there and pick up a handful of cells and go resell whatever I'm splitting. And so yeah, I keep some. I give my dad some. Especially if I'm a good distance from home, the faster you can get them out of a vac bucket, the better they are. So if I've got beekeepers' phone numbers all around me, I'll call somebody and say, "Hey, you got empty equipment? You want some bees? I'll be glad to come by and dump them." Oh yeah, they're 9 times out of 10 they're glad to have them. I'll go dump them and tell them how to tend them. So I saw somebody ask, "Do they stay?" I think. Do your cutouts stay in the hive? Yes. All right, was it Armadillo, Texas? Okay. So my trick is just lock them down for 48 hours. If you lock them down for 48 hours and give them something good to build on, they'll stay. But you got to give them ventilation, keep them in the shade. You can't, if you lock them in with, in the position they're going to be in when you leave them and you decide you're going to keep them in full sun, you'll cook them. You just come back to a dead box. But if you lock them down for 48 hours, swarms or cutouts, nukes or anything that are established like that, you don't have to do that. You just let them run. But anything that you've cut out, the chances of them leaving are pretty good unless you lock them down. Some of them will stay, depends on what you put them in. But otherwise, that's how I do it. And I have a long history of keeping the vast majority of anything I bring home.
Randy, did I hear you say before that typically you don't frame up a lot of brood comb because of the issues that it creates?
Yeah, it does create a lot of issues. It's time consuming for one thing. It takes about another hour on a job, especially if it's a big job, to bring in equipment, set up a cutting station or table or whatever to be cutting comb, rubber banding in frames, sticking it in a box and trying to get bees on it. Because if you're 6 hours into a cutout, any open brood is just a lost cause. It's chilled. It's no good anymore. So your sealed brood is really the only thing you're saving. So now you got a lot of dead open brood that those bees have to get rid of, or small hive beetles are going to use it for a food source. And it's an attractant, and it's a stressor on the bees. So all that brood comb, it's beautiful. I'd love to keep it, but it's time consuming. That customer just wants me to get that done and get out of their house as fast as I can. So we sack it all up, we refine it, we re-wax foundations, and we give all that wax back, and they build it out really fast and get back going. But all that comb that you frame up, if you can get them back on it and make them work it, now you got a bunch of wonky comb that you can't. It's relegated now to a brood box. You can't put it in an extractor. You can't run it in your honey supers, and nobody wants all that if you're selling nukes. So it's a problem if you frame it up and you keep that. Now you got to deal with that later on. So I'd rather get them started off right off the bat on some foundations. And so that's my reasoning behind that. It takes away the hive beetle lure, and it takes away some stressors from the bees and lets them get back to work instead of tending dead brood and cleaning up everything, cleaning up all the cuts you've made, reattaching, and then they're going to cross comb it, and none of it's straight. It's all as straight as you put it in the frame. You think it's going to be straight, and it moves, and They got rubber bands built into the combs, and so I just rather start them over on some fresh foundations.
Yeah, I've noticed that exactly what you're saying, and I've told Matt this before, where I quarantine any of the cutouts that we do throughout the year. We don't do 20, 25 a year, but nonetheless, what I'll notice is the colony look very healthy. Everything looks great, but I still quarantine it. I don't put it in a bee yard that I've got. But anyway, when I frame up some brood comb and then maybe a couple frames of honey and then everything else I just trash, what I end up doing is I'll notice that when I remove the bees from it, there's barely any hive beetles there. And then if I don't find the queen, I just dump the bucket in there and put them together and walk away and come back within a couple days to check it out. The hive beetle pressure there will be immense, particularly after we start getting into some of our warmer months.
Right.
It just attracts the hive beetles to it. And so I think moving forward, what I'll probably do is maybe keep, a frame of sealed brood and, just one, and then maybe frame up a little bit of honey, and then just to kind of lock them down a little bit. And then I'll just give them all empty frames, let them build them out from there. And then what I'll do is I'll cycle out those frames. I'll move them outside of the brood nest. And when they somewhat start to get empty, or they're just some light material on them, I'll pull them out and throw them away, or pull the combs out and pitch them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you were saying, I mean, I noticed the pressure on them is immense. I mean, the hive beetles is attracted to that, probably all that crying larva that's all stressed out, and that pheromone that they're putting out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's insane. So we'll definitely change and work on that method moving forward.
Yeah, I enjoyed the process of framing it up and trying to save it. But sometimes now there's also, if you're going to save it, there's also a method to that to get them back on it as quick as you can. If you can't, sometimes during the cutout, you can't get them to take to that cutout comb that you've just taken out. You can stick the box right up against the wall, right next to a hive, and you just can't get them to go on it.
Yeah.
Well, once you get it home, if it hasn't been too long and you've got some brood that you can save, if you put an empty box on the bottom, dump them in that and put the brood combs above it, and let them work back up into those brood combs. That's a pretty good way to get them back on it as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And so at the same time, though, you still have to lock them in. So you either need to screen the tops and bottoms, something, but you can't let them fly. A lot of people want to put a queen excluder on there and let them fly, and think they're keeping the queen in, and they're going to stay. Well, sometimes they'll still leave anyway and leave the queen and a dozen attendants behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like the pressure that's created from hive beetles is probably not worth, like you were saying, not worth the time and effort to frame up what emerging brood is going to be able to be saved. I feel like you're creating more harm than good there.
Yeah.
And that's just my observation. And I heard you say that one time, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, that makes perfect sense. And originally I thought you used to frame it all up, and maybe I was mistaken by that. I don't know, but
I do if I'm doing a video on how to do it, or if I'm teaching somebody and they want to know how to do it, I'll frame it up. We'll shoot a video on it. I don't mind showing that, but I quit framing it up a long time ago because a lot of it's just a time issue. We're doing these back to back a lot of times, and like I said, it takes up another hour, and you got to bring all that equipment with you. Well, if I don't frame it up, I don't have to bring that equipment on the job. It can stay in my yard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's less work, a lot less work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the effort is not really worth the shake when it comes down to it. Like you said, and maybe in a different climate or a different area, maybe the outcome will be different, but where we have the hive beetle pressures, particularly, I feel like they just fight it is all they do. And it really beats up on them, just having that much extra pressure on them. Really, especially when we get to our summer months, I'm still trying to feed them and let them to build up. But like you said, they'll never build that comb right. And especially for somebody like me who's really OCD, I'll start pulling those frames out, cycle them to the outside, introducing new frames in there, letting them build on it. And as soon as those frames start to hatch out, even if there's a little bit of resources, I might pull them out and pull the combs out and throw them down, let them rob them out later.
Yeah.
And I just, you can't throw it in an extractor. The comb's not right. You can't put it in, like you said, you can't put it in a nuke. It's kind of a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times it depends on how they're built. A lot of times you're putting 3 or 4 or 5 pieces of comb in one frame. And so, they're never going to build it right. It's always going to be just trash.
Yeah.
Jeff frames his up. He loves it, but heck, I ain't wasting my time.
Yeah. Well, I even thought about doing that on like the swarm boxes.
Yeah.
The swarm traps
Uh-huh.
when they build on the bottom of that frame.
Yeah.
If it's pretty big, I've always cut it and rubber banded it in, but I had already kind of made up my mind. If they're building into other frames that's there, I'm just going to take that and throw the rest of it away or throw in the bucket.
Yeah. Is that JB joining us?
Yep.
Yeah, that comb is good for swarm traps. Absolutely, especially that old dark brood comb you get on some cutouts. If you can get it cleaned up, it's real good for swarm traps.
I guess it would also be a really good brood break too, or mite treatment. Just getting all that brood off of them and letting them have to relay a new comb though.
Yeah, if you want to do brood breaks, that's the perfect time for it because you're starting them over from scratch. Yep. Mm-hmm. So not only brood breaks, but it's fresh wax. It's everything. It's no contaminants, no anything.
Yep.
Except for whatever you're painting on your foundations. So that's going to be clean enough. And the fact that it comes out of a feral colony, it's not going to have any type of treatment chemical in it. Mm-hmm.
Did it finally stop raining up your way, JW?
It has for the moment, but there's still more on the radar.
Is there? Yeah.
Where was that? Go ahead, JW.
Sir?
Go ahead.
What I was going to say doesn't amount to much.
I was just going to ask, I saw a very brief piece of Brian speaking somewhere, and I don't remember where it was. I need to go back and watch it. Where was that posted at?
That was, I think that you're talking about Brian Zavada with Flower Street, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, he spoke at the Pueblo
County Beekeepers Association just this past weekend.
Yeah, it was just this past weekend.
Is it posted anywhere, or did I just see something on Facebook?
He just posted something. I don't think Melissa posted anything.
No, Brian just posted a reel on Facebook.
Yeah, he just posted a reel on Facebook is all it was. I know they were recorded. I didn't. Melissa and I were out there in Colorado with them too on that, but we didn't record any. We just took a few pictures and stuff. But I'm guessing
Mr. Ed was there, right?
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was complaining to me that they didn't have Biscoff on the plane.
He had a long
Hey, Randy, I will tell you what, he told us that he was leaving in the morning and they flew him all the way up to Baltimore. And then, I mean, he flew, clear across half the world, out of his way, then to fly from Baltimore all the way down to Louisiana down there. And he actually called me that night. It was
9 o'clock.
Yeah, it was 9 o'clock. He calls me, and Melissa and I was busy. I couldn't take the call when we were in Colorado. That was my birthday, and he calls me and says, "Hey, I just wanted to, wish me a happy birthday and say, hey, I just got home." And I'm like, holy cow, this guy is probably dead tired because I think he's usually in bed by like 7 o'clock or 7:30. Yeah. So he had a long day of hurry up and waiting in the airport, and that's kind of tiresome in itself.
Yeah, that's way past his bedtime. Occasionally, I call him about 7:30 or 8 and tell him I'm calling him tell him a bedtime story.
Yeah. I think he had a good time while he was out there. He acted like he did.
Yeah, he did. He said he had a real good time.
And luckily, it really wasn't too bad as far as the temperatures. They're pretty reasonable. So.
He was
I
cold.
think he gets up about 3 though, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
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 Like a truck driver.
Oh yeah.
What did Brian talked about? Nukes and splits. Is all
I think
you
I think that's
talked
what it
about?
was. Brian, refresh my memory again. What was the topic of your discussion? Nucleus
It was
colonies.
nukes, yeah.
I think there was more to it than that.
Brian needs to get in here where he belongs.
Yeah, he can get in here and he could get in here and tell the story of it.
Yeah.
It was really a good time out there, though, and I mean, we weren't speaking out there, but I'll tell you what, those guys, they treated us well when we were out there. So
I mean, Brian had a lot of people's honey from the chat out there for tasting.
he did. Brian had a honey tasting table that he was set up himself, and there was a lot of people in the group chat honey that he had there. I don't remember all. I did take a short video and picture. I didn't post it, but I did take a short video.
Brian has a video of that on his YouTube.
Flexible of double nukes. Yeah, it went really well. It was actually a pretty well-run conference. They put a lot of effort into it, and they had a really cool that I was really impressed with. And I know we're going to work this into our club ventures. Is they get like a youth program basically, where they sponsor youth to come in, and they actually had several of them. I want to say maybe 6 or 7 youth up there that had like a little sponsorship, and they make them do things throughout the year. So I was pretty impressed, and it was nice to see the young folks that were in there. So I think that's something that needs to be highlighted in these conferences, much like what Cayman's been doing. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
We have, since Elizabeth started her nonprofit, we've done a couple of things. One of them was a Montessori school that came down from North Carolina, I believe. We set up out there, and she did a talk for them. But I figured out a few years ago that I'm no good with kids. I just can't keep their attention. I'm too monotone for them. Mm-hmm. You got to be kind of hyped up and jumping around doing something crazy to keep their attention. So I spoke to a homeschool group. It was about 40 people or something like that, and the adults were really the only ones even paying attention. Mm-hmm. And then I went and spoke to a Boy Scout troop, and the kids were rolling around on the floor and stuff, and the dads are going, "You know how to make mead?" Like, yeah. Yeah, let's not talk about how to make alcohol in front of your kids.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So I don't talk to kids groups. That's Elizabeth.
Melissa does that with ours too. She was a teacher too, so she can handle it much better than I can.
Same.
It's just like you said, it's a personality thing too. Yeah. Kids are fine and they're great. I just, everybody has their own weaknesses and their strong suits, and much like your wife Melissa is dealing with the kids.
Yeah. Elizabeth's a natural with it, and she's a good public speaker too, so she takes it and runs with it. Mm-hmm. Somebody say Mead.
Hey, Lee.
Yeah, Lee, what's up with the cup, buddy?
Got a cup here, man. Put some meat in it.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Melissa just got it out of the mailbox this evening.
It's been the first time we could get to the mailbox for 4 days.
Oh, yeah. It's been raining hard, but no big deal. Thank you very much, Lee. I appreciate that.
Actually, I've got a couple new. Speaking of meat, I got a couple new batches on the brew right now.
Oh.
New from Africa from Kenya's on there.
Yes.
I'm not big on mead, JW, but those were good when we tried them.
I'm telling you, I don't like it either, but it's something to mess with. I got some cherry that's not too bad. I just made it. I think it's going to be my best so far, maybe.
Leeds, 3 of Leeds, Brian, Dot House, and then Way Farm.
I've had a couple total failures too. I made some banana that I poured out. It was nasty. I thought that I had some coffee that I got way too much coffee in. It was way too stout. It was about like chicory, more like chicory than it was trying to drink chicory water.
I made a bunch years ago, and I was just shooting for alcohol content, really for bartering.
Mm-hmm.
And a buddy of mine that I gave some to, he says, "Man, he said, what? This is moonshine. This ain't mead." He said, "I'm gonna use it in my lawnmower."
It'll vary by batch. I've got it anywhere from 16 to about 17%. When you test it.
Do this.
I just started messing with. Actually, the first I ever really messed with was down there in Nobby this year. We went over there to that meat tasting deal. And I thought, well, that's some of the nastiest tasting stuff I ever put in my mouth. I thought surely I could come up with something better than that, but I wouldn't say I've been 100% successful by any means.
Hey, I just came on here real quick to say something to Miss Melanie Cruz, since I saw she popped on. We were talking to the boys about coming and visiting you and Dennis again this summer, if they were going to go with us. And Isaac said yes, so long as he can catch those gators in your pond. So keep track of the gators this spring so that we can let him know if he can come with us or not.
We get some extra bandages and stuff like that because of the boys. Those boys get down there, they're going to get tangled up with one is what's going to happen.
They won't have to worry about them getting tangled up with if we're not feeding them. That's where you get in trouble. People have been feeding them.
Yeah.
Well, what was it, like 2 years ago when we went down there when the boys went with us?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
And they had 2 of them in the pond that's on their property. And they were what, like 4 foot?
Yeah, 4 or 5, maybe 6 foot at the most. They weren't big.
Yeah, there were. She had like
camera ready.
She had like 2. They had like 2 of them in the pond at that time.
We can send them down there in the creek where all the water moccasins are at, and let them wrangle those up too. That'll keep them busy.
Couple foot long. That's big enough to sink a bobber. I know that.
Yeah.
Brian, yep. It was our dishwasher.
It was actually the dishwasher, Brian. That's what I bought Melissa for our anniversary was a dishwasher. I mean, what better thing to do than to buy a woman a coworker? I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, guys. Right?
I have no comment. I've already been accused of beating my wife today.
Thank you for the new weapon, Lee.
Got her steam up for her birthday.
No, you didn't. Stop it.
She's been loving me ever since.
You see this lovely couch? This is where I'll be sleeping this evening.
That will not happen. Melanie, I seen Dennis was pulling the swarm out of that bottle brush bush. Was it a day or so ago? Tell him I was talking with Myron just the other day and planning a trip at some point in time to come down and visit you guys, and we're going to go through Myron's yard. So tell Dennis to get rested up because we'll have a lot of colonies to go through. His included.
See what I told you about the landscape business there, Matthew? See what?
Yes, sir. I need to get out of the carpentry and tile business.
Yeah.
Get into landscaping.
Just go from Colorado to Florida and back and forth.
I know it. It was
Maine to
Wisconsin before that.
Life is good, guys.
Mid-stop in northern Minnesota.
Taking notes, JW. I'm just taking notes, buddy.
I'll train you guys. I got a course that y'all can take. It's $29.95.
That's cheaper.
It's on annual auto pay.
That's right. That's a monthly fee, just so you know.
That's right. Cheaper than David Burns, so I may just take it.
See?
That's a retirement.
That's the introductory price.
Right.
The inside of the mug.
The inside of the mug?
Yeah.
Who does?
Text. It's red and yellow the mug. Is it yellow with the B in there?
Hey, Brian Lee, how are you, buddy?
It's just yellow on the inside.
Well, that's nice looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just yellow in there. There's nothing in there.
And we're drop shipped directly from the manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's on my box.
Oh, is that what it said?
Yeah.
Mhm.
North Carolina, I think is what it came
Oh.
from.
Tom, do y'all collect honeys from all these conferences y'all go to?
Yes, we do.
You
And
sample
we'll,
them, or you sample them, or you just collect?
no, we actually sample them, and then we also take them for honey tastings around, because Melissa and I will do some educational events, sometimes some presentations that we'll give in areas. So
Yeah.
we'll take honeys and we'll set them up, and I mean, throughout a lot of people within the group here, we've got a lot of honeys from I don't even know,
Everywhere.
probably 20 something people in the group, maybe even more than that, and so people like to taste different things, and sometimes the source will be listed on there. Sometimes it's just wildflower, but and then sometimes people will tell you what they what they expect that it probably is, things like that. So I don't know, it's kind of fun. People, especially beginner beekeepers, really get enjoyment out of that, I think, because what's funny is until people when somebody just buys honey from a supermarket, they really don't understand that all honey is definitely not created equal, and it's not all the same color, and it doesn't all taste the same.
Yeah.
So that really opens up a new door and window for conversation too.
Yeah, I've got boxes of different honeys here, and I think the next one I'm going to try is SNL Apiary's lavender infused.
Huh. Yeah.
I don't know why this is not focusing.
I can't remember if we gave you a bottle when we were down there, Randy. I don't recall. I had some with me, but I don't know if I had given it all out or not when we were down there.
I don't know. This is out of North Carolina. 828-728. 3009 maybe. It's tiny print. SNL Apiary's lavender infused honey. A little plug for them. I'm about to try that. It's a nice little bottle, corked.
Oh, the little muth, 8-ounce muth.
Yeah. It's starting to crystallize, so I'm going to open it before it goes fully.
How many different bottles of honey do you have that people have given you over the last handful of years, would you say?
Maybe 100. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think from just from Nobby this past year, I took home about 28.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't get rid of them, so they're all over the place. Elizabeth's like, you got to do something with these. No, I don't have to do nothing with them.
Eat them.
They're staying right here.
Yeah. So Brian had Lee's, Joey's, Matt's, ours, and he also had Carl, Philip, Clay Bunner, Charlie's, and he said there was a bunch of others.
Paul Hale.
Oh, Paul Hale's honey, his was in there as well.
Yeah.
From Loma Vista.
Oh yeah, Todd's honey from Loma Vista out in California. His was in there as well.
Paul's using the stout jar, or was. I don't know if he still is.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hey, kiddo.
How you?
Are you keeping Matt company this evening?
Just got home with Mom. So.
Oh, nice. You want to come say hi, huh?
Hopefully they brought me some. Hopefully they brought me some pizza.
Ooh.
But we'll see. I don't know. I haven't been inside yet.
Well, I'm gonna jump and let y'all have it. I ain't even had a shower yet, and that's probably why she's not in here anymore. I probably reek.
Oh, you don't need a shower. This isn't the third Saturday yet, is it?
No, it's not. I'm on my third shirt today, so I should be fresh.
I always do that midsummer too when you're out working and then you have to meet with the customer later. I always carry an extra clean shirt with me, and you pop it off and pop a new one on.
Have to. Have to.
Yep, necessary.
Yeah, the only dirty thing and I say this jokingly quite often. I'm like, I'm the only person that can show up at a job covered in crap, and the customer's still happy to see me. So,
yeah, that's right.
What are those little yellow spots? Oh, that's feces.
Could be worse.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
All right, yo, enjoyed it. Thanks for inviting me on, Joey.
Glad you come on.
Appreciate you.
Anytime.
All right.
See you, Randy.
Now you're stuck with a bunch of dang Yankees, Joey.
Thanks for reminding me.
couple dirty side and one outstanding young.
Oh boy. Better go get my boots on. It's gonna get thick in here, y'all.
Yeah, it is.
So, Joey, do you have a lot of splits left that you have to take care of? Or are you on the downhill side of that?
I've got it all split. I think I do. I got them all split. I just got to go back through and make sure that I got mated queens walking around.
Yeah.
I actually had to put one or two back together today. I wasn't going to waste time trying to re-queen it or put another cell in it. So I just put them back together.
Now, do you typically
what?
let them go from cells, or are you using virgins?
Well, a little of both. When this year I kind of let them requeen themselves, and because of that, the reason for that was after I started making my splits, the guy that I get cells from, him grafting and me splitting didn't work out. The timing just didn't work out right. So I said, by the time I do my splits, and by the time I wait to go get cells from him, they'll already have cells made. So I just let them make their own. Normally, I go get them, and unless I catch swarms, and then I deal with that. I hadn't even broke out my incubator this year. Hadn't needed it.
No. Now, are you making splits for increase or to minimize swarming, or both?
Minimize swarming and cell nukes. I wish I could just make them disappear sometimes. I want 20 hives.
Well, you could sell off some if there's a market for it. You could sell off some full hives, make some splits, come in there and make some splits, sell off some full hives with, somewhat older equipment to cycle it out. And then, a new beekeeper is happy to get an established hive. They're going to get a honey crop from in the year. You've cycled out some equipment, maybe last year's queen, and, keep the nuke and grow that.
Yep.
I think next year, Melissa and I are going to sell some full-size hives. I don't know how many. We'll have to see what that looks like, but maybe as many as, 5 to 10, because I have some equipment, and it's not old, but some 8-year-old boxes that I never wax dipped because that's before I built our wax dipping tank. And I'm not wanting to keep any of those around long term. So I may cycle a handful of them out.
Yeah,
8-year-old equipment. What's that?
You'll find out in 5
I know what
years.
2.5-year-old equipment looks like.
Well, I figured somebody would be interested in buying an already established hive,
Oh yeah, no, I'm making fun of the fact that my equipment's still that new.
Yeah, that's good though. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, you're wax dipping. You're getting 10 years out of a box, probably. Maybe.
Well, I better get more than that. I I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've only been in this 8 years, so I can't really tell you definitively. But I mean, my hope is that I see 20 years out of a box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was.
And we'll see how it goes. But I'm, potentially looking at some pallets that I'll end up building.
There's nothing wrong with our 8-year painted boxes, but
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the boxes. There's no rot in them. I just want, wax tip equipment and something that.
Dip them. I've dipped them 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. If they're solid, dip them. Clean them out and dip them good.
Should I take the bees out of the box or leave those in there?
I'd cook them.
Cook them. Done.
They make good forage.
Yeah.
That'll kill all the mites.
They kill all the mites, guaranteed.
That's one way to treat.
Make them crunchy. Sell them as a snack.
Seriously about the dipping. I mean, I dipped them. Had some age on them.
Mm-hmm.
Then burn them. I don't have one on the place that's over 5, I don't think.
Hey, Matt, you and I should be standing out at the corner of JW's place when he throws out those 5-year ones.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Like beggars, right?
He told me he's not allowed to burn any tin frame equipment anymore. I will drive those 3 hours. It's pretty much a straight shot east.
I'm getting down to my supplies limited. I think I got 4. I think I've only got 7 of them active right now.
Mm-hmm.
He'll just cycle them out to you.
And I may not have 7 active after this week. Hey, Mark Miller, are you coming?
That took a while.
How are y'all doing?
That was a long reboot, man.
I can't hardly hear out here in the shop. It's raining so hard.
You still coming? You still getting rain?
Yeah, we got over 6 inches today already.
Jeez.
I'm just like you. I'm pushing 8 right now.
Yeah.
You better
Everything's flooded.
You better attach some pontoons to the side of the house.
Yeah. My house is in the pond right now.
Oh boy. Get out your fishing pole then.
Yeah.
You need to get a straw and suck some of that moisture out of those clouds because they're coming over you and right up to me and they're still dumping.
I know we're going to do something.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I'm charging my trolling motor battery up just in case. I've been out here in the shop working most all day. Of course, I didn't get up till late, but
I thought about you today. I come awful close to calling you. I thought maybe you might be available since the weather, if it was doing what it looked like it's doing on the radar.
Yeah, it's been one of them days. And you out here in this shop with this metal roof, you can't hear yourself think.
Yeah.
I
enjoy that. I enjoy listening. That makes me sleep good. I could go out to an old barn with a metal roof on it and crawl up with straw and snooze away.
Yeah. Rolled frames, foundation, got a bunch of mate nukes ready to go. Been making candy cages, been setting up bars or cups and bars, getting them ready, making candy. I don't know. I've been busy all day. I'm on bag number 2, making up candy cages. So I'm right at about 150 I got done today. Well, that's good. At least I can get ahead on that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, get that menial work out of the way.
Yeah. That's what these rainy days are for.
Hey, Mark, tell us your method for making candy for the cages. There might be people in here that might be interested in doing that, if you don't mind.
Well, I'm sitting there looking. Oh, Well, I don't know if you can see it or not.
You got a cookie sheet down there?
Can you see that?
Can?
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a bunch of cages laying in it. So,
Yeah.
all right, hold on, man. Let me get some. Normally, I just grind my own sugar, but I've been in a hurry.
You
Hey,
didn't
Mark.
you didn't pick up that powder out of the Gulf of Mexico, did you?
No.
Okay.
Go for where?
Gulf of America. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they changed it, didn't they?
That's right.
K-roll syrup or light corn syrup. Yep. K-roll or honey.
You can use honey, but now if you're going to ship very many, you probably don't want to take that risk if something was to go wrong.
Yeah.
So, can you see that?
Yeah, we sure can.
Y'all have to forgive me. I got a cold. I just meet it till I get it to where I want
it. What's the consistency that you're looking for? Is that like silly putty or maybe a little bit more malleable than that?
All right, look here. Here's a piece that's meated down a little bit, but it's still dry, right?
Okay.
So you just mash it down. Just keep mashing it. And it'll get wetter, actually. When you get it about like that.
Okay.
Then I'll break me off a piece. And I'll roll it. All right.
No, it's okay. What is it?
Does that powdered sugar firm it up a little more when you stuff it in there?
Does it what?
Does that powdered sugar when you took a little bit of put a little bit of that dry in the end of it, does that firm the end up a little bit to where it hardens off a little bit more?
Right. It helps her from digging down in it so bad, you know.
Yeah.
If I can't get to them in time to put attendants in there.
How long would you say, I mean, on average, and I realize if it dries out a little bit more, it may take a little bit longer. Would that candy plug allow that release? 2 days or less?
Yeah, at least 2 days, Tom. It may be a little longer depending on the humidity outside and all. We've got a lot of factors involved there too, right? A lot of times, like I'll store these in the freezer, and then when you thaw them out, they're wetter.
Okay.
You know, and that dry helps that too. You know
I mean, I would imagine you want it fairly dry so it's not sticky and the queen doesn't get caught in there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem.
Mine always ended up too dry. They couldn't even eat through it.
Really?
I tried Hive Alive on a quick plug fix once, and it was disastrous.
Really?
I had virgins trying to burrow through it before they were. Yeah, it wasn't any good.
So I've used Hive Alive before. I used some that was a little bit drier, and what I did is I rolled it like Mark's doing, and I stuck it into that tube on the JZBZ cage, and then I took something like a pencil eraser, and I shoved it in from one end to really like pack it and firm it up, and I'd put a little bit more in, I'd pack it again.
Yeah, I thought I packed it well too. I didn't put it. It wasn't dry. I don't think mine was probably right out of the pack. You know.
Okay.
But it was definitely too soft because she tried to burrow through it.
Okay. Yeah, that's not good. She'll end up probably getting hung up in there, and then it'll end up killing her.
It was.
All right. Here's the difference between this is Cairo syrup and this is honey. Can you see the difference?
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
honey one looks a little darker in color.
Yeah, and it meads out faster.
Okay,
This holds a lot more powder. It
Gotcha.
don't mead out as quick.
Mm.
Once you get it done, it's real nice though. See.
Yeah.
so is your favorite the corn syrup?
Yeah, well, it just depends on what I grab. To be honest with you, most of the time. Ain't
How,
no
how do
matter
you
anyway.
store that? Do you just store it inside the cages, or do you put it in a Ziploc bag and throw it in the fridge, or just store it on the counter?
It's in a Ziploc bag.
That keeps it from drying out. Okay.
And I'll get them filled up and put them in the freezer.
Where is your favorite place to buy those JZBZ cages in bulk?
I've just been ordering them whoever's cheapest, Tom,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Well, I was looking at the other day about ordering 100 of them, and I also want some caps too.
The little pink caps.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have many of them left. I need to get some more stuff.
It's easy to lose those. You know it.
Yeah. Are we back?
Yep, I got you.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing. I wash my hands.
Good use for a rainy day. I know that.
Oh heck
Yeah.
He'll be sucking up those cages when he get some of the grafting going and the virgins emerging.
Well, they gonna be emerging here any minute.
You got some hatching, don't you, Mark?
Well, I hope they ain't hatching yet, but they probably are. I got a bunch of duds, actually, I think.
Matt, we have to put together a queen cell order when Mark ends up coming up toward the St. Louis area to bring those couple mated queens up for that gentleman who won them. We got to make it worth his trip coming up here.
He actually, I think he lives within about 5 or 10 minutes from that yard you saw today, Tom.
Oh yeah, Jason
Yeah.
Bartnick. Yep.
Yeah, he's not far at all.
He's in the chat sometimes. I don't see him real often, but he's in there sometimes. He said something about having us come out at some point in time to that Jefferson County Club and giving a presentation, and I told him we would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where they meet at down there, Matt?
You know, I'm not sure. The only meeting part that we went to was at the winery.
Okay.
But they do have a consistent spot.
Oh, he's got some ready to pop out, has he?
Looks like it. I'm guessing that's 32.4 degrees Celsius. So Matt's going to be a star here before too long, JW.
Well, I don't know about that.
He's going to be hot and heavy this month. April 22nd. Matt's debut, St. Louis Beekeepers. I'm going. I'm going to be there.
You have to go. I'm going to be there.
Oh, Melissa said I have to go because she's going to be there. She's going to be on the panel with Matt.
Oh, well,
Her and Matt can duke it out.
Me, Matt, and
let me get a few duck eggs.
I was going to say, bring some tomatoes.
Hey, JW, you should come over for that, actually.
Get a few duck eggs saved up. I got some.
Oh, man.
My wild geese are laying. I can go around if I can beat the coons to the nest. I can get a bunch of throwing material.
Yeah, I'm pretty honored, honestly. I'm very humbled. You know, I'm just following a passion. You know, I have no idea really what I could to add, you know, and that sense. So
don't sell yourself short, Matt.
I think it'll be fun no matter what, but I'm,
definitely
a little nervous.
You have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge to offer to people, so don't sell yourself short.
Well, I appreciate that, but It'll be fun. You know,
last month's meeting though.
I'll
You
follow.
can't see that, can you, Matt?
Flower
No.
Street. Read the comment, Melissa. Yeah.
Brian says Tom and Melissa are ruthless hackers.
Well, that was because when Brian was giving that talk there in Colorado, I yelled out to the side. I'm like, "Who's this clown?" You know, you just kind of, and then when he's not looking, he turns. You take, whatever swag you get in the bag, and you throw it up on stage and be like, "Boo!"
The two old guys on the Muppet.
You know, they're like the two old guys in the Muppets.
You got to break me in hard.
There.
Don't take it easy on me.
That's right.
A lot of noise.
Oh, there's
Ken.
man.
Hi.
Are you in range, Ken?
Yes, I'm driving. I'm on the road driving.
Sounds like you're driving over somebody's
Yes.
house.
Kind of
Yeah.
noisy.
I'm doing good here in Kenya.
Do you have some honey flowing at the moment, or some nectar flowing?
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, don't worry. I'm driving. Just some few minutes. I get where I'm reaching.
There's a lot of background noise. I'm not sure what you're driving over, but it sounds pretty rough.
Yeah. So let me get to where I'm reaching, then I get back.
Okay, yeah, just mute yourself, and then when you get there, we'll see you in a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, he's giving her heck.
He must be in a convertible.
I think he went through somebody's house.
That's right. Dog.
Maybe we can mute him, Joey, until he gets to where he's going.
I'm going to get him on mute until he gets stopped.
Why do you want to mute that?
Sounds like someone's getting their house destroyed.
Yes.
There we go. Whenever he gets to where he's going, he can unmute him then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Matt's big debut, St. Louis Beekeepers. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I'm humbled, and hopefully I don't mess up too bad. It's just a matter of how bad.
No, man, you'll be fine. Seriously, it'll be good.
I think it's just supposed to be a panel discussion between me, you, and Ken, so it'll be good.
Okay.
Did you hear that? It's going to be between you, Melissa, and Ken Heidkamp. The only one you'll have to worry about is Melissa, okay?
Yeah,
I'll have to put a mute button on her.
There you go. I'll follow Melissa's lead. So.
Yep, that's right, Alicia. An evening event. Hey, Matt, maybe Alicia can take us out for dinner before, celebration.
Oh, there you go.
I see Mark tried to come back in, but I don't see his video.
No, he may with storms that are going over him, might have his internet messed up a little bit or something. Oh, there's Mark trying to get back in here.
Yeah, it's stalling on him.
I bet you he's got poor internet. Something going on with the storms and such is my guess.
How rude, Todd.
What did Todd say?
Todd.
Oh, Todd. Melissa's sketch. Ooh, boy.
Who said that, Todd?
Todd did. He's heckling her already. He's heckling her already. I like it. Maybe Todd can fly in just for the median and give her some heckling.
Yeah, there you go.
That'll keep her on her toes, won't it, Matt?
Yeah.
I like it. JW, are you watching soap operas in the background?
Can't hear you, got banana mare.
This guy.
I'm actually was looking to see see if Todd was having for dinner. He's usually cooking when he comes on.
Hey, Joey.
He's been
Joey,
catching.
can you highlight that comment there from Loma Vista, please? Can you highlight that comment there from Loma Vista? He knows what's up.
No, I ain't gonna highlight that one.
Come on, there it is. There it is. Todd knows what's up.
Yeah.
I think he misspelled that.
Nope, he sure didn't. Todd's my boy. Yep. Tom has Melissa had a face seizures lately. That's a good one, Lee. I haven't seen her shapeshift lately because
Marcus said you're not connected for some reason. I can't click on it.
Todd's got enough state lines between him and Melissa to say that one. You know?
Yeah, I know, right? Those ladies are vicious, aren't they, Matt?
They are.
Little caliente.
Seizures.
Let's see if he still got a lot of noise over there. Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Still a lot of noise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if that's not maybe exhaust noise, like a muffler.
I thought it was.
I'd say it's wind and
wind noise.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the 3-hour mark anyway. We're fixing to get out of here.
I figured he was driving through somebody's house. So, I don't know. I'm about ready to go take a shower anyway. I'm pooped. I haven't eaten anything. I'm famished, JW. I haven't eaten anything today. How about that?
I bet you haven't.
I had a small little bag of chips and some iced tea.
I've had more than that during this chat.
I know. I heard you crunching on it. You and Donk were in the back eating carrots.
You better watch what you say about my donkey. He holds a grudge. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Sometimes
I'm going to tell him what you're saying.
No, don't do that. I don't need him beating up on me when I go out there.
You won't forget it either.
Although if we get out there in the field with him, he starts chasing me. I don't have to be the fastest one. I just trip Melissa and keep going.
He is just digging himself a hole here tonight.
Yes, boys.
Hey, Todd, it was good seeing you, man. Hope all is well.
Marchie's not going to bid on you, buddy. Don't look like.
Yeah, it's not going to connect.
Don't look like you got a good enough connection. Too many kids watching midnight movies.
Yeah. You get stopped, Ken?
Yes. How are you?
All right.
How you doing, man?
You just did make it. We were just about to close the chat down.
Oh, right. Now I have arrived to where I was going. Now is at 5? It's almost 6.
That's in the morning, right?
Yeah. It's just in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. I'll see you there.
He's in the future, remember?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. My town. So I just cross open very early in the morning, waiting for my grants.
Waiting for your class?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What is the temperature where you're at today?
The temperature is allowed 17.
17 Celsius?
Yeah.
What is it?
Okay, we have 1 minute left.
62 degrees. That would be 62 degrees Fahrenheit, 17 Celsius.
Yeah.
Good night, Philip.
See you, Philip.
Night, Philip.
So, Ken, what have you been up to lately?
Um, last week, no, I mean the last week we were doing some different operations. We were doing inspections to our hives. So now we were conducting harvesting exercise and doing some of our members' hives. We are doing inspections to see whether the combs are full of honey. Yes, so that's the operation we were doing, and so we, as I told you there before that most of our farmers are adapting to modern hives, so they have the traditional hives, so they have a bit of challenges than the modern. So so nowadays, no, this week we were checking up our hives and the members' hives.
And how many hives do you have to check on this week?
We have checked 70 hives. 70 hives.
70? 70?
Yeah, 70 hives. Yes, and we found that some some are full of honey and some are yet to get full. Yes.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and say good night to everybody over in the chat and close it down. We'll see all y'all on the other side of this.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.